And we are live. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on tonight. There's a whole lot happening all over the internet, all social media, mainstream media, everywhere. There's a whole lot going on. We got to talk about the San Francisco gay men's chorus, quote-unquote, joke. Not really sure how funny this so-called joke is. Is it funny at all? I don't think so. Also, we'll talk about Kamala Harris versus voter ID. Then we'll talk about the door-to-door vax program that they're talking about in the administration, and how the secretary, one of these alphabet letter services, I forget what it was, but Xavier Beccera is saying, hey, you know what? We're paying for it, so it is. We'll get to that in a minute. Also, is it racist to have a dress code in your establishment? I don't believe so, but some people say that the Turkey Leg Hut out there in Houston, they're racist for having their dress code. We'll get into that. What else we got? Oh, Tucker Carlson giving an update on the whole NSA spygate situation. We got to talk about that as well. That's a really big hot button issue. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody because remember, Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, all these guys, they warned us, they told us about the spying. There's a whole lot to get to, a whole lot we're going to talk about tonight on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for joining me. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets, and I appreciate you for being right here live on the show. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. You can listen to this as an audio-only podcast on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. A link for that will be in the description box. I'll get to phone calls and Skype calls a little bit later, probably about an hour in the show, so y'all hang tight for that. But we're going to get into a few things here. I'm not really sure where to start. And shout out to everybody from all around the world watching. I see West Virginia in the building. Shout out to you. And also, before I even get into it, thank y'all for watching the show with me, Brandon Tatum, Black Conservative Perspective, and Pierre Wilson. Shout out to y'all for watching that Thursday night. That was a great show, and I'll be there every night. There could be different people aside from me and Brandon Tatum, but I'll be there every night. So make sure you watch that show. That's every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on Brandon Tatum's YouTube channel. I will be there. And I'm trying to get my Instagram live back started up, but I do post my videos and stories and things like that on Instagram, instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan. And what else? Oh, of course, you got to go to ablmerch.com. We still got a few of these hats left, the USA Special Edition. We still got a few of these hats. And I'll be doing some new merchandise really soon, trying to keep that updated, hot, and new, some fresh designs that'll be coming out within the next few days. Also, of course, go to another one of my sponsors. Aside from myself, the ABL merch, that's my store that I run. Go to bhedesigns.com for these beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. You can get one of your own. You can get one that looks just like this, or a custom order, one that's already right there, whatever it is. Go to bhedesigns.com through the link in the description box. Talk to my man, Robin, over there, and be like, hey, what can we work out? What can we do? He'll hook you up. Also, what else we got? Of course, patriotpost.us. If you're looking for a great source of news and information, and you don't want to keep going to these fake websites like CNN.com, that's a troll website, Chinese farm website. If you don't want to go there anymore and you want another website to pair with AnthonyBLogan.com, go to patriotpost.us. Okay, all my sponsors, they're really good people. I know them, I talk to them. And then, quite frankly, most of my sponsors are me. ablmerch.com, that's me. AnthonyBLogan.com, that's me. But everyone else, I'm really with. And of course, I can't forget about my soap guys, Mr1920.com. That is Mr1920.com. Link for everything will be in the box. All right. We got commercials out the way early on. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of the whole situation. Let's get into the whole thing here. I want to start with Where do I want to start? I kind of want to get to the gay chorus thing a little bit later in the show. I think I want to start with the door-to-door vax. Let's start right there. Get straight into it. Now, the whole door-to-door vaccine program, that's got to be one of the worst schemes I've heard of in a long time. If someone does not have the vaccine, they probably have a reason. Whether it's good, bad, whatever, that's up to the individual that hears it. It's also up to the individual that has it. Someone's reason is their reason. I'm not here to judge. I'm no moral police because there is no moral policing to be had. It's your body, your choice, right? Okay. Some like Pepsi, some like Coke, some don't like soda, some like water, and they have different reasons. You know what? Soda makes me break out. Soda gives me the diabetes. Soda does not do well on my body. It makes me sick. It makes me ill. Now, I'm not saying anything approved by the CDC would ever make any American ill at all. I'm just saying that somebody might say soda makes them ill because of the sugar content, because they can't drink sugar because they got diabetes. All the FDA approved vaccines will work perfectly fine if the CDC says so, right? That's what they told me to say. I'm just reading from the paper that's right here in front of me. That's pretty much that's a disclaimer. So I'll move on from that. Anyway, everyone has their reason why they don't want to take whatever they don't want to take. So if you go door to door trying to convince them, what are you going to accomplish? Because everybody knows about the vaccine. Everybody knows where to get it. That's no secret. It's no secret. If you have half the population that has been, that has had at least one shot, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even 2 shots, you're talking about over 150 million people that have already gotten the vaccine. If that many people have it, then we're not dealing with a marketing problem, right? We're not dealing with a marketing problem. Try throwing an event and having 5,000 heads in the building. 5,000. Now, how much is 5,000 compared to 150 million? It's insignificant. It's a drop in the bucket. It's nothing. Take 5,000 from 150 million, you still have about the same number. Just put it in perspective. So if that many people already have the first one, there's no marketing issue. Everyone knows about it. So what's the point in having the federales go door to door? And also, there was a rumor that was floating around that Xavier Beccera had, I guess, debunked, talking about the database, right? The database, like, okay, let's back up a little bit. Xavier Beccera was talking about you're going to go door to door and it's our business to get you vaccinated because you're spending a bunch of money on it. We're spending a lot of time, resources, energy, trillions of dollars. It's our business to know if you're vaccinated or not. Now, when he said that, it's like, okay, if it's your business to know, then do you already know? There was a stat that came out on the news, and they said that 100% of those that died with the virus in Maryland, I'm not really sure what time period, but I suppose recently, 100% of those that died in Maryland with the virus did not have the vaccine. So it's like, okay, how do you know the status of everybody that died with the virus? How do you know that if you're not keeping track? Now, I don't know how they know. I mean, the database would make sense, right? Because if somebody died, you put a name or their social into the database and see if they got vaccinated. If no, then you put that on their death certificate. It didn't have it. If yes, you put that on there. How else would you know how everybody died? How else would you know that if there's no way to track it? So when that news came out, and then when Xavier Beccera said what he said, the obvious, conclusion was there might be a database. He said, oh, no, there's no database. There's nothing like that going on. Well, if there's no database and or no way to track who has the shot and who doesn't, when Jen Psaki says we're going to do targeted outreach, what does that really mean? What does targeted research mean? Who are we targeting? Who are we trying to target? We're trying to target the poor peoples, the black people, white people. Who are we targeting and why? Is it anybody specifically? Like, what's going on? How do you know that there's a low rate of vaccination among Black and Hispanics? I mean, you're not tracking or you are tracking. What's going on? Because you can know certain little pieces of information from the U.S. Census. Okay, in this particular area, you have a very high white population. How do you know that? Oh, U.S. Census, we track you by those numbers. We track population. We track your demographics all the way as far as your population, your race, your gender, sexual orientation, marriage status, college degree, no college degree, your income, your median income for the entire. We track all that based upon data. We gotta get the data from somewhere. So where are you getting the vaccination data? That's my question. But to get back to it, you don't want to go door to door. Like I said in my video, they were trying to do something like this in Tennessee. I think it might have been in Chattanooga or Memphis, somewhere in Tennessee. The NAACP intervened, and I got to give them a shout out like I did in the video. The NAACP, I'm no fan. Y'all know me. Then the NAACP is, I'm not a fan of them. They don't really do a lot. There's a whole lot of woke, SJW, Black Lives Matter type stuff generally. But in this case, and only in this case, I'll give them their credit because they stepped up to the plate. The plan was, when the testing first came out, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. The plan was, when the testing came out, we're going to go to every quote unquote hood in this particular city, Chattanooga or Memphis. We're going to be full uniform with the National Guard, full uniform, right? Fatigues, boots, the whole 9 yards, with a clipboard talking about, hey, you want to get the test? And they were like, no, let's not have that happen because it's intimidating. You come in with a full uniform, it'll feel mandatory, like they have no choice. So they went ahead and just squashed that whole thing. This feels like the exact same thing they tried to do with the test, but only for vaccination to see if you have it, if you don't have it, if you want it or whatever. But we'll see how the whole thing plays out. What they don't need to do is bring anybody with a needle. If you bring a needle to me, don't bring needles to my front door. Don't do that. Matter of fact, don't come to the front door, period. But don't bring needles, because if I see you on my Ring camera, I'm gonna think you a dope fiend and you lost. You don't know where you at. You trying to find a way to tie off. Don't do that in my front yard. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna call the police on you immediately, or I'm gonna go out there and be like, okay, I'm gonna escort you out the premises right now. You gotta go. You have to leave. You can't be right here. So don't come with some needles talking about, let's get the shot right now. That's not gonna work. Don't come to the door at all. What they did as far as the testing thing, when they scrapped that program, happened in some of the projects of the National Guard, they set up little centers close to these neighborhoods. So if you want to go get the test, go ahead. It's right there. It's no problem. But I'm not going to pressure you into do it. It should be the exact same thing here. Some guys want the shot, and that's fine. That's totally fine. Go get them. Your body, your choice, right? Some guys don't. And that should be everybody's right to have. Now, I also heard that they're going to do mandatory in the military, allegedly. There's a story. I forget exactly where I saw it, but there's an actual article. They're talking about allegedly doing mandatory vaccines in the military coming up in September. I'm not sure if it's all branches, DOD or whatever, but military mandatory. Now, we all know there was an anthrax vaccine, a mandatory anthrax vaccine in the military some years back, and that was a whole big disaster. And again, reading from my hostage note right here, the CDC says that the COVID-19 vaccine is effective, it's safe, and everyone can get it, and it's fine, it's non-harmful, and that's what it is. But the anthrax vaccine, however, was a debacle. A lot of guys got injured. A lot of guys died. So it's like, okay, I saw that whole thing happen. Now, how about this over there? The CDC says it's fine. It's going to be safe. But do I believe them? Hey, I don't know. One thing I will say is that this shouldn't be a mandatory thing. And I know that a lot of guys in the military will go ahead and just resign. They wouldn't re-enlist. If they're hearing this right now, and the upper re-enlistment, they just be like, no, I'm done. Not going to do it. They'll take a dishonorable discharge or whatever to not do it. And who can blame them? And you can't really do a lot. And then the thing about it is this. They say in the military, this is like the group that has the least to worry about. Very fit. A lot of these guys are very young, 18-year-old, super fit, working out every day, low body fat. They are the opposite of the danger group. What's the danger group? People that are obese, people that already have conditions that would preclude you from being in the military at all. If you got diabetes, you can't be in the military, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of these conditions you can't be in the military with. If you're 1,000 years old, you can't be in the military, obviously. Trying to be active duty, trying to be on the front line, not going to happen. So a lot of the comorbidities are things that people have in the general public who are most at risk. That is not an issue in the military. So it's like, what are we really even doing? Is it a test or what? I have no idea. I know nothing. It's all entertainment. But I'm just putting it out there for you guys to do a little bit of thinking. That's simply it. All right. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And what else we got going on? We got a whole lot happening here. Now, did you guys see Kamala Harris talking about did you guys see Kamala Harris talking about voter ID, saying that it would disenfranchise those who live in rural areas because they can't get to a Kinko's or Office Max to photocopy their ID? It's like, Kamala Harris, what year are you stuck in? I know where Joe Biden is. Joe Biden's in the 60s talking about phonograph and just real old school words, right? Real old stuff. You still going to the ice cream parlor like you 15 years old, and Wilmington, like he about to go roller skate to the ice cream shop with your pop and your dog and whatnot. That's kind of where you at mentally right now, Joe Biden. Tearing the ice cream cone up, don't care that the cameras are on. You got your mouth all the way up, like you Jaws, right? The Jaws shark with your mouth fully extended to bite this ice cream cone. That's where you at mentally. Riding your bikes, ice cream cones is like what's really happening. He's stuck in the 60s. She's stuck in the 90s. Kinko's has been gone since probably like 2005 to like 2008. Like, it's been gone for a long time. Kinko's is no more. I did that video. A lot of y'all were like, Kinko's, what's that? Never heard of it. A lot of you guys that are like right around 20 years old or younger have never heard of a Kinko's before. Never been there, never heard of it, didn't even know it existed. Kinko's was what is now FedEx office, because FedEx bought Kinko's back in 2003. So it's the same thing, but it's like a copy shop. You can go in there, not coffee for the Starbucks people out there, but a copy shop. You can go in there and make copies of printed materials. You can go in there and fax stuff. You can get stuff printed. You can get packing supplies. I've not been in there in years. And I used to go there a lot to FedEx office, not Kinko's, because they've been gone for many years. But last time I was in the FedEx office was like 2009, when I was still doing my graphic design flyer thing, because I might need paper, I might need some packing supplies, I might need boxes. But there's a lot of these stores that are like that exist. You got Staples. You could do it at Walmart, maybe even Target. You have UPS stores. You could do it at the post office. You could do it at a library, as far as faxing and copying, things of that nature. As a matter of fact, home copy printer scanners are not very expensive. And like I said, everybody has their phone. I don't want to hear no excuses, because the context was she's trying to say, I guess it was about mail-in voting. Not everyone's able to go to a FedEx, Kinko's, or whatever to send their ID that way to prove who they are. And it was weird because she was saying not everyone can do that, but I'm not against proving who you are, but there's got to be ways to prove who you are that are not impossible. It's like, how is it impossible to have an ID and take a picture of it and send it? My phone now, it has a function. All I got to do is aim my camera at the item, and it says, do you want to scan it? If it, it can tell if it's a document or not. It can tell if it's my license or something like that. Do you want to scan it? Sure. Push the scan button, doop, and then send it right off to whoever I got to send it to. A lot of these websites, you can upload straight to the website. Government websites, a lot of them are like that. Okay, so it's like, what are we doing? People are on Zoom all the time. They're telecommuting, teleconferencing. So I don't understand. She just makes up stuff as she goes along, just trying to it's like a really unprepared person, very unprepared, cannot answer questions, silly answers to questions. And I think the whole thing about voter ID, you already know what time it is with that. They want that door open. I'm not saying they're going to cheat because the government said that cheating didn't happen in the election and the righteous person won. That's what the government told me. And I believe anything the government says, it doesn't matter. They could say that, hey, this shot right here is for syphilis, and it could be the year 1930. I could be like, all right, cool, government, I believe you. So, hey, no, nothing there, nothing to see there. I believe whatever the government says because they said it, and if I question it, that means I'm an American, right? I believe anything anybody tells me, any obvious thing that might be a lie is not a lie when the government says it, right? But I digress. I believe whatever they say. But come on, I mean, at a certain point, it's like, really, what are we even really doing? What are we doing? But they want that door open. I think there was a video on Fox, and I said this before. I forget the guy's name, Ari. And I'm not sure if he's like an independent journalist or whatever, but he put the video out on Fox News. And he went to a liberal college in California and also Harlem, New York City. And he spoke to the liberals on the college campus about voter ID. Is it racist? And they were saying, yes, it is racist. But the funny part is that their answers were closer to racist than the idea of voter ID could ever be. They're talking about, yeah, it's racist because black folks, they can't use the internet. They don't know how to go to the DMV. They don't know how to get IDs. It's like, how hard is it to get an ID? How hard is it? And it flies in the face of the evidence that we have, because I was reading some more stats. I always read stats. I always read things that are going on. And the stats that I read, they said that 1 out of every 4 black Americans are on some kind of government assistance program. 1 out of every 4. I think it's like 1 out of every 10 for whites, but 1 out of every 4 for black Americans. That's pretty high, unfortunately, but it is what it is. It's just a reality. So 25%, right? 25% of black Americans are on some kind of government program. Now, what you got to have to be on government programs is what? Anybody want to guess? Any guesses from the audience out there? Oh, you got to have ID. You got to have sometimes more than one form of ID to get some of these benefits. You want to be on Section 8? Okay, well, check it out. I'm going to need birth certificate of not only you, but your kids as well, because it's for mothers that got kids a lot of times. They want to put them as preferential treatment. Okay, we need your ID, your kids' ID, birth certificate, proof of unemployment, proof of hardship. We need all of that. And here's the application. Fill that out. And matter of fact, stand out here in this line for 10 hours to get the application. You might not get it, but when you do get it, we need ID, birth certificates of you and your kids, all of that. We need a lot of evidence. Trying to get a job, you need ID. Not only do you need ID, but back in the day, I'm not sure how it is now, but when I was a young man and I was trying to get one of my first jobs, I needed to have ID, proof of residence, and they wanted a urine test to make sure I'm not on cocaine or heroin or nothing like that, or a meth addict. They wanted me to pee in the cup and give it to this person at the front desk in this place. So I had to drive down there or get it right down there, do a urine test, give them my ID, all that good stuff to get a job, just to work for somebody to get like $6.25 an hour. So you're telling me that having one ID card and having a cell phone to send it is too much? And everybody has a phone. Everybody has a phone. If you don't have one, you just don't want one, and that's fine. That's a prerogative. But most people have a phone of some sort. It may not be the big fancy iPhone. It may not be the latest and the greatest, but it'll get the job done. It has a camera on it. You can take a picture of whatever you have and send it to somebody. Email's free. You can get Wi-Fi for free. Go to McDonald's, Burger King, or go to the library. You can get free Wi-Fi. You can get a free phone sometimes. The Obama phones, are they still kind of kicking around? I'm sure they got a camera on them. You could buy a phone for the low from Walmart. I done seen them. Go to Walmart right now. You can get a phone for like $20 with a camera on it, and you can get free Wi-Fi at your local store. Buy that, get your ID, take a picture of it, and send it. And the way she was talking about rural areas, like they have no access to anything. It's like they don't have power, water. They don't have anything. It's like living in the jungle or something like that. This is still America. It's still a first world country. This ain't like, Central African Republic where you got a civil war going on and it's, it's not that. This is still America. First world, everybody wants to be here. So it doesn't really matter if you live in New York City or a rural area. You're able to get from point A to point B if you have to. That's just the reality, right? So it is what it is. But that whole thing is crazy. Oh, to get back to the whole thing about the Fox News video. So that guy was asking people in the college, is it racist? They have all kind of excuses. They can't use the internet, blah, blah, blah. But then he went to Harlem, New York City and asked the black folks there, hey, do you guys have ID? Yeah, we got ID. Do you know what a DMV is? Yeah, we know what a DMV is. You know how to get there? Yeah. It's 125th Street. Like, he was asking them these questions that the liberals were so adamant about that they just didn't know. But he's asking them about it, the actual people that are right here. And they're like, yeah, we got that. I don't understand why you ask. Like, it was to the point where it got kind of weird. It's like, what are you doing asking me this stupid question about do I have an ID or not? Everybody has an ID. Everybody. If you don't have one, you don't want one. It's always this random anecdote of a guy that just came home from the penitentiary or he doesn't have his ID or somebody lost it. I mean, stop. Please stop playing. You can get an ID as easily as pants and shoes for the most part, but I digress. Thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. I see a few trolls in the chat. If anybody wants to troll, you have to call in later. Call in at about 9:00 and we can get on the horn. Because one thing about trolls, a lot of times they're cowards. And I respect people that have a different point of view. If they call up as a man to man, say what you got to say and have that be that. I respect them. I don't call them trolls. I'll call them people that disagree. I respect them a lot. But the cowards that be in the chat, the keyboard warriors, when I'm right here with an open phone line, it's like, what are we doing? Put up or shut up. But I digress. I'll get to the calls at about 9 p.m., which is in about a half hour right now, 9 p.m. Eastern. So PSA for all those that are out there trolling, I see you guys. I don't read the comments throughout the show because I'm talking a lot, but I may glance and then I might see your comment right there, like boom. So that's what that is. But what else we got going on? Oh, let's get to let's get to no, don't time them out. It's fine. But where was I gonna go? Oh, the gay chorus. Now, have you guys seen the gay chorus clip? I would play it here, but they've been striking videos. Like, they put out a statement talking about they took the video down because they were getting threatened and doxxed and stuff like that. Now, I don't endorse that. I don't condone that at all. But they said they took the video down from their page and they were also issuing DCMA strikes. So a lot of videos that got put up that had the song in it got taken down by YouTube because the chorus were actively manually going to pages and taking it down. So there's no point in putting the video up with the song in it to get taken down by the YouTubes because they're triggered and butthurt about bad opinions, right? Like I said, all the personal stuff, the doxing and whatnot, I don't condone that. But as far as talking about the video, that's something else. Now, this is the San Francisco gay men's chorus. And I think these are the same guys that had that song, Vaccinate. Remember that? Vaccinate. I believe it was them because I seen some familiar faces in the crowd. So they put out another hot hit song on the internet. I forget what it's called. It has an actual name. They put a name to it. But the point of the song, they said it was a joke. And I know maybe my sense of humor is not really on point. Maybe I'm just kind of a little bit too old. I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of stoic. But I tend to be a fun guy, so I don't know about the whole stoic part. I think that it wasn't funny. The whole point of the video was to troll and or poke fun at conservatives who think that you can be converted into homosexuality. And then in the video, they were saying, we're going to convert your children in a subtle way. You never see it coming. And they're singing this, but they're saying it's a joke. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't joke like that. I just don't do it. That's just not me. Some things are funny, but some things aren't. I don't joke like that. So I fail to see the joke there. They said it was satirical and obviously tongue-in-cheek. Now, what's crazy is that you don't even see what's going on here. Maybe you don't understand the severity of the situation. Why would you say tongue-in-cheek when you're being accused of something that's kind of freaky like that? But I digress. The whole point is they say it's comedy, they say it's a joke, but I don't see the humor. And also, a lot of times, well, I won't say the best comedy because it wasn't really good comedy, but oftentimes you have a lot of truth in comedy. And sometimes the truth is hidden in the joke. You know, somebody will say something to you as a joke, but really they mean it. They're serious. I mean, look kind of fat today. And it's kind of like, ha, 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 joking, but now they're being serious. You got kind of a little pudge right there. You might want to tighten up. They're joking to seem like they're not insulting you or they're not saying anything that's going to hurt you, but they're being dead serious. I think, my humble opinion, my viewpoint, my belief, not what they said, but my belief is that they're not joking. They're telling the 100% truth. They're being honest, but they're trying to say they're joking to mask their honesty. Now, allegedly, from what I've read, some of these guys are convicted sex offenders. I think it might have been 3 or 4 of the guys that are convicted pedophiles, allegedly, from what I read. I heard as many as 15 could be on the registry of sex offenders. There were some guys whose name was in the actual list, but it's not been confirmed whether that was them or not in the actual choir or the chorus. But some, like I said, some guys' names matched names that were on the list. There was mug shots and everything. I think that's where the doxing came in because they put the whole name out there, all this and that. But it was mug shots that matched some of the guys in the group. Guys have been locked up for sex crimes, allegedly, from what I read. I'm not saying it's true or not, but I saw pictures, I saw names, and it looked pretty similar to me. Now, keyword if, big time if you got guys on this chorus in San Francisco talking about, oh, it's a joke, we're going to convert your kids to homosexuality, it's a joke. If they're joking about that and they already been to jail for underage sex crimes, where's it? Why would you do that? Why would you be joking about something like that when you've been to the penitentiary for something like that? When you've been locked up for a thing like that, why joke about it? How does it make any sense? Are you joking or not? I'm trying to figure out. What else is going on? There was a whole lot. Oh, this is reminding me of drag queen story time. Remember that? Hopefully that's still not happening anywhere. But drag queen story time, you had these adult men, not transgenders, but adult men. Well, same thing. Anyway, I digress. Adult men dressed up in drag, right? And they would read in front of kids, like at public library, something like that. Reading books, random stories or whatever. They read to the children. And one of these guys actually flashed the kids, like I said in the video. This guy looked to be the world's most prolific meth smoker. If there was a meth event in the Olympics, he'd win gold every single time. I'm talking about he appeared to be a meth monster. If there was a zombie video game that came out and everybody was on meth, that's what caused a zombie outbreak. He'd be the leader. He'd be the alpha. He'd be the guy in I Am Legend at the end that was trying to communicate with Will Smith. He'd be like that, but I digress. Anyway, this dude did not really have on proper drag attire. I guess that might be a thing. He had on crack smoker attire because the drag queens are like, they put on this stupid, the clown outfits basically, right? Like gay clown outfits. That's kind of the best way to go about it. It's like really elaborate. It's like, if you ever seen like the floats in New Orleans, they put that on their whole body as an outfit, right? This dude had on a SpongeBob shirt and it was real tight as a dress, I guess. I'm not really sure. Crackhead outfit. Anyway, he's reading the book and then he opens his legs and exposes himself to the kids that are right in front of him as he's reading the book and he's sitting in a chair. You gonna bring little babies or something like this, little kids or something like that? Oh, but you're not trying to indoctrinate, you're not trying to expose them? I can't tell. You're trying to expose a whole lot. You're trying to expose way too much, if I do say so myself, but I'll move on. One of the guys, I think it might have been in Houston, was found to be on the registry. A whole sex offender, convicted, been to the penitentiary, all of that, mugshot, name, everything. The guy was on TV admitting to it. It was crazy. It was like, all right, man, like, what are we really doing here? What are we doing? Is it a joke or not? I mean, I can't tell. It appears to be pretty serious to me. They're saying one thing, I'm seeing something else, so it's kind of confusing. But y'all know what's going on. You guys are pretty smart. You could pretty much put 2 and 2 together and figure it out. You guys can figure it out, but this is kind of happening a lot in a lot of these leftist liberal places. This is why these politics are important. That behavior is important. It's really important to be on that because you don't want to have one of these guys wind up being your kid's school teacher or anything like that. Because I don't know about y'all. I'm not leaving my nieces, nephews, nobody like that around some of these nut jobs for one moment. I don't care if I'm like within an earshot. I'm not leaving them nowhere near them straight away. All right. Well, thank y'all again for being here. I appreciate y'all. If you like what you've heard so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. But yeah, these guys, it wasn't funny. It wasn't a joke. The whole trolling thing, you could pretty much do anything, I suppose, to say, oh, I was just trolling. You know, punch somebody in the head. Oh, I was just trolling. It was a joke, bro. It was a joke. No. You know, some of these pranks go far. Some of these pranks are not pranks. You see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I stole your car and crashed it into a pond challenge. And you steal my car and crash it into a pond. Oh, it's a joke, bro, but my car's at the bottom of the lake here, sir. The airbag's deployed. Where's the joke at? You know, if it's funny and I'm all this and that, all right, cool, but I don't really see that the punchline is just missing, like straight away. You're talking about a 50-foot gunshot that's way off the mark, a free throw that hits an air ball. You're way off the mark. You're not really hitting on a target with your joke. And like I say, I enjoy a good joke. I enjoy a good hard, but that wasn't it. But I move on. We got a few things. Oh, Turkey Leg Hut. I got to talk about Turkey Leg Hut because in my video, I spoke about my experience with these clubs, a lot of urban clubs and whatnot. Now, here's what happened with Turkey Leg Hut. If you've not seen my video, I'll explain it right now because this is really, you know, it's kind of near and dear to my heart because I done dealt with it for years of my life. I know how these clubs operate, especially, you know, black clubs, urban areas, and this kind of vibe, this kind of element I know too well. Turkey Leg Hut is a restaurant in Houston, Texas, if I'm not mistaken, or Dallas. I think it's in Houston. Now, they're black owned, a lot of black clientele. Not sure if it's all black, but a lot of black clientele. It's a black area, Houston. Apparently they got pretty good food. It's always a big line around the block. You know, a really popular spot. People really enjoy Turkey Leg Hut. The problem is some people enjoy it a little bit too much, a little bit too casually. And they come into the restaurant wearing whatever they want to wear. Bonnets, pajamas, shower caps. You got all kind of body parts exposed, upper body, lower body, halfway nude. Very inappropriate because this is a sit-down restaurant. It's not a nightclub. See, if it's a club, it's something different. You know, if you got girls in there dancing on tables and stuff like that with their little go-go outfits on, that's a whole different vibe. This restaurant is not that. This restaurant it's a sit-down spot. People bringing their families and little kids and everything else. So they put in a dress code. Now, before I get to the dress code, I've read some of the comments, some of the kickback on my video I did, and also just from some of the articles that were written. Now, they said that Turkey Leg Hut is in the black area, like I said, and when they first started, a lot of the clientele would dress like that. And that's kind of what built them up. I'm not sure that's true or false. You guys know if you guys are in Houston or Dallas, wherever it is, if I'm right about that, wrong about that, let me know. I don't know. I don't live there. I'm just reading stuff. But they said once it started to become mainstream and it started to get more and more popular, then they were like, okay, you guys can't be here anymore. But see, I know that battle as well because here's what happens with a lot of these restaurants. From my experience in many years, because like I said, I've been the club flyer guy. I've been the guy going to a restaurant before it's open, when they still putting the floors in. I didn't design menus. I've been the guy to set up a lot of these spots. I put a sign in front of one restaurant, so I know how these things operate. What happens is they try to be for the community. They try to be down. They try to be woke sometimes and invite everybody. I don't care how you look. Come on in. Ain't going to be no dress code. We're not going to be like them down the street and these racist white people. We're not going to do that. No dress code, whatever. Come on in. Then they realize they got to have a dress code at a certain point because they get tired of the fighting. They get tired of the cussing and fussing. They get tired of patrons complaining about the riffraff. And this is black patrons, white patrons, whatever. They complain about the riffraff. The color is irrelevant because nobody that is a normal person, black, white, whatever you are, nobody likes the riffraff. Normies don't like the abnormals, the irregulars. They don't like it. So they begin to complain. But still, they hold on. I don't want to have a dress code. We're not going to be racist. But then it just becomes too much. The fighting, the cussing, the fussing. Then here comes the gunplay. Pop, pop. Now you're about to get shut down. Uh-oh, we got to change. Now we got to do a dress code. Now, I'm not saying that happened here. I'm not saying that. Don't get that twisted. I'm just saying from what I've seen from many years of doing this type of work, I did that from like 07 to like 2014, 2013. Long time, many years. It's the same pattern over and over and over again. Then they get strong on the dress code and they don't have one from the beginning. Now, the smart clubs, the smart restaurants have a dress code immediately, right away. I design flowers with dress codes on them. Some of the main things I will always see, no white tees. Because back like early, like late 2000s, that was the thing. A lot of the game bangers, they wear white tees, like plain white t-shirts. Like if you let guys in with a plain white t-shirt, oversized or whatever, you know you about to have some problems. No white tees, no fitted hats. Because a lot of guys who wear that, like if you got on a white t-shirt, a fitted hat, sagging pants, and some Nike Air Force Ones, dope boy, probably got a gun. It's all bad. You don't want that. So the dress code really is to target certain kinds of people, not certain races, certain kinds of people. If you have the audacity to wear a bonnet or a shower cap at 11 p.m., you probably might want to fight somebody with your bare knuckles and don't even care about what happens to you. You type person that might fight an officer with a gun drawn on you because you don't really care about life. What you got to live for with a bonnet on at 12 midnight. I mean, so the dress code is to keep a lot of the riffraff out, period. The smart clubs, whether you black, white, or whatever, have that from the very beginning. So they had to put that in there to keep a lot of the nonsense away. And I support them 100%. A lot of black clubs, I think there was one that did that a couple years ago in Dallas, and they got in trouble because you go in there, the behavior is crazy. You got people twerking, drinking, throwing stuff, and here you got a family with their kids just trying to eat, and everybody's black, but the family with their kids don't want to have this strip club environment right in front of them when trying to eat their little turkey legs and macaroni and cheese. They don't want to have somebody over here drunk, spilling stuff on their shoes and things of that nature. They don't want to have that. So they got to have the dress code. It's simple. Right? And like I said, I've done flyers for every kind of spot you can imagine. I've been in strip clubs before. I've been in like adult clubs, not like that kind of adult, but like 40 and up clubs. I've designed stuff for people like different little markets. So you have the teenage, like 17 to 18, 19 clubs, the strip clubs, the events for the older crowd, 45 and up, the 18 to 21 college age, the hood spots, the more bourgeoisie, the bougie spots. I've done it all. Black, white, everything is the same pattern. The dress code is for the riffraff, not for the normies. So don't make it be a race thing. Don't try to say, oh, it's a race thing because if you say somebody can't wear ripped up pajama pants at 11 p.m., then you're racist. What? What's that got to do with race? That's somebody that probably likes to smoke crack for their pastime, and they're going to bring the crack into the club and smoke it right there. I've seen clubs go through some crazy stuff. I saw one guy, he was in the wheelchair. He got in the club, didn't get patted down. He got out of his wheelchair, pulled a gun out, and shot the guy right there on the dance floor. You know, I used to go to that club all the time to serve them with their flyers and whatnot. I was right there on the dance floor many times, and I seen it. So you don't want to invite that kind of environment, that kind of element, because the guy in the wheelchair was targeting somebody. You see what I'm saying? And if you have a dress code to keep these kind of people out, maybe that element wouldn't be coming to the club. Outside the club, shootings and stuff like that could be drawn down if you make it known this is going to be a classy establishment. You're going to have a dress code. You're going to act right when you in here. Have the rules set. But I digress. We can talk more about that later when you get to the phone calls. But I wanted to share my story because I've seen it for years. And anybody from Virginia, Norfolk, Portsmouth, if anybody knows it for back then, you know I'm telling the truth. I don't want anybody's name, but if you're watching this, you know I'm telling the truth. If you've been to any kind of clubs, you know I'm telling the truth. If you're a club owner, a restaurant owner, any kind of space where people come into at certain times of the day, you know I'm telling the truth. Simple. All right. All right, what else we got going on? Tucker Carlson with the NSA spygate fiasco. Oh, yeah. Tucker Carlson let the cow out the bag saying, hey, they spying on me. We knew that. But he's like, here's the story right here. A reporter from Axios got the story talking about Tucker was trying to get an interview with Vladimir Putin. It's like, why is that a bad thing? Why is it bad for Tucker to talk to Vladimir Putin? NBC spoke to him like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, like sometime middle of June, like June 14th. They spoke to him, exclusive interview. It was recorded, put out, and it was no problem. So if NBC could speak to him, if ABC could speak to him, if CNN, CBS, all the alphabet letter spots can speak to him, why can't Fox? What's the difference? It's all the same thing. American journalists, alphabet letter organizations, it's the exact same thing. I don't see the difference. But see, the issue is they want to keep this whole Russia thing alive. Remember I said it about the whole Trump Tower spying thing. Remember that? When Trump was running and also when he got elected, they spied on him through the Trump Tower. Now, it wasn't Trump they were spying on specifically. It was people that were around him, because they're talking about some Russia stuff, some collusion stuff. So we just happened to get information about Trump, then so be it. It's quote unquote incidental. We weren't trying to get him. We're trying to get those that are next to him. A loophole, simple loophole, because there's a target. The objective was to try and get dirt on Trump and to get Trump out of the way because they didn't want him to win. They did not want this guy who is not part of the team, not part of the real squad, the U.S. government trying to do that whole one world government. They don't want him to be there because of that. But he got there, and that's why it took them years and years and years to get him out. His whole term to get him out. And then they did something at the end. I don't know what they did at the end because, like I said, the government says that the election was fair and free, and I'm going to just stick to that because the government's always right. Like I say, if they say take this syphilis shot, I'm going to take it because the government's always right. They never do anything wrong, and I'm going to believe what they say, right? But I digress. The point is, they were spying on Trump to get dirt on him. Same thing with Tucker. Oh, they weren't spying on Tucker directly, but indirectly. I can imagine what happened. They were spying on the guys that he knew to speak to Putin and get the interview. They were spying on them, and then they see Tucker's emails. Oh, here's some emails right here from Fox News. Fox News, look, we got a gold mine right here. We can continue the whole Russian narrative. We can smear Tucker Carlson. We could smear Fox News. We could do all of that right here, what we have right in front of us. And that's what they did. But it's not a bad thing to interview the man. Russia was made into the boogeyman because that's a way to spy on people and get away with it. Got to have somebody to blame. So rather than, like, if you got a bad economy, right, under Joe Biden, rather than saying Joe Biden's not doing a good job, rather than saying there's, worldwide factors, the virus and production and stuff like that, rather than talking about that, blame Putin. He's the reason why things aren't going well. He's the reason. And it's dumb because Biden approved the pipeline over in Russia going to Germany, but he did not approve of Keystone XL. So it was like, you're talking about Putin's to blame and he's the reason, but you give him a pipeline, but not yourself, not the American people, but you're the American president. How does that make any sense? I would expect Putin to do that, to get a pipeline for himself and not another country if it's about you and your people. But he did the reverse and then wants to blame Putin for that. How does it make any sense? But again, it's not even about Vladimir Putin, because there's pictures of Hillary Clinton smiled up, snuggled up, having a good old time with Vladimir Putin back in the day. They like Vladimir. They go over there and get money with him. They go to Ukraine, get money. They don't really care about him being some kind of bad guy, but you got to have that bad guy to put the blame on, to point the finger at when things aren't going well, to point the finger at when you're spying on American citizens and say, oh, no, we weren't spying on the Americans. We're spying on the Russians. The Russians did it. It's so dumb. It's completely dumb, but it is what it is. Right. Russian collusion. The collusion word, I heard so much. I'm hearing so many new words get repeated every single day. Whenever you hear a word that's uncommon get repeated every day, all day, you know it's fake. Insurrection, that's another one. That's the newest one. Back when Trump was getting elected, it was collusion. Now it's insurrection after the whole January thing. When you hear these uncommon words repeated over and over and over and over and over again, they're programming you. I never heard that word before on television until recently. And why not? That's not a thing that has not happened before and around the world. I mean, you're talking about the Haitian president getting assassinated. Rest in peace. You're talking about him. Is that a insurrection? Could it be some internal thing, like a coup or something like that? Why are they not using that kind of term for him? What's going on with that? They said some Americans were involved, Haitian Americans, but Americans. So what happened with that? What's really going on? Are we seeing some kind of covert action, some kind of Gaddafi type stuff? I have no clue. None whatsoever. I don't know nothing. Because like I said, the government says that we didn't do it. Oh, I believe whatever they say. Whatever they say. They say they got WMDs. We got to go over there for 1,000 years. Oh, let's do it. We got to go to Afghanistan for 1,000 years. Oh, let's do it. And then they're talking about a Taliban. They're saying the Taliban is taking over. Well, the Taliban is a government. So, yeah, they're going to take over, because who else is going to take over? Ain't no government aside from the Taliban, as far as I know. So what are we even talking about? It's weird. All right. Well, thank y'all again for being here. I appreciate you guys. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and get the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And if you're listening on your favorite audio streaming platform, give me a 5-star rating. Give me a review. Do whatever you can. I'd appreciate you if you did. All right. We got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I'll get to that in a few minutes. Y'all just hang tight. Oh, and also before I get to the super chats, did you guys see where they took the Lego set from the so-called rioter? Okay, so you mean to tell me this mastermind of the worst thing that ever happened since 9/11, or even beyond 9/11, beyond the Civil War, beyond slavery, the worst incident ever in American history, a leader of that was playing with Legos? Huh? Was that what I'm to be told right now? Is that he's playing with Legos? And why did the FBI seize that? What are you really going to find in the Lego set? Really? What are you going to find with the Lego set? Take a picture of it with your cell phone and move on. I mean, the dumbest. Shout out to all law enforcement. Shout out to all the people that are good, hardworking guys at the FBI and girls at the FBI and these other organizations that do good work, that do real work, because I'm not going to sit here and say the FBI as a whole, meaning all their employees, all their staff, are trash. You got some good guys and girls over there. I know that for a fact. However, leadership is trash. Super trash. You're seizing a Lego set. Imagine yourself seizing a Lego set from a dude's basement, talking about this is the worst thing that ever happened in American history. Do that with a straight face and see if you can last. I'll wait. I know I can't. If I can't, I know you guys can't either. But I'll move on. Noah Garcia, you hilarious. He says on a super chat, ABL, did you vax that thing up? No, I did not, sir. That's hilarious. But thank you for your super chat. That vax that thing up song was super cringe. Super, super cringe. I mean, good grief. I know that times are hard, juvenile, but come on, man. Like, if you need some cash, just say that, man. Do a GoFundMe. Don't go out. Matter of fact, it's better to do a GoFundMe and ask for some money than to go out here and talk about vax that thing up for a check for like $15,000, $20,000. Embarrassing. You see, Lil Wayne didn't do it. Lil Wayne was like, nope, because he was in that song too. Back that thing up. He was in that song after you back it up. That was him at the end. He wasn't in that because Lil Wayne got too much money, and Lil Wayne is a little bit woke. He kind of understands what's going on. Now, I'm not saying he's like Captain Red Pill or nothing like that, but he understands that stuff like this it's not really the wave, in my humble opinion. But I'll move on. We got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. So y'all just hang tight. Let me go ahead and get to this particular page over here, and then we get rocking and rolling. So let me see now. What's the date? July 10th. Okay, let's get to that particular part. And thank you to Chevy for your donation. Thank you to Hudson Jackson II, who says, everyone knows it's part of depopulation scheme, even government bureaucrats, bureaucrats, hilarious. Even government bureaucrats and politicians admit it. There you go. Talking about the that thing, the thing that they say that is totally safe and doesn't cause any harm. That thing right there. Thank you to Mr. Grimm, who says, obviously they haven't heard of the Tuskegee syphilis experiments. Exactly. Thank you to Tyrannius, who says, don't come to my door with that thing. May have to recover my items from the boating accident. Thank you to Darius for the 100 emoji. Thank you to Per Kalo, who says, anyone can come to your door claiming to be that thing patrol, the ouchie patrol. You find yourself in a home invasion when you open your door. You don't know these people. Oh, yeah. Very good point, because there's a lot of home invasion and stuff like that going on in different parts of the country. And they claim to be all types of things. They claim to be cable guy. Well, that's kind of an old thing, but, UPS, FedEx, ouchie guy. They claim to be that and then do a home invasion. I've seen that happen before. Thank you to A-Rad Poor for the donation with the emoji. Thank you to Jason, who says, I don't know if this is relevant to the conversation, but I watched the pedos video, and I do believe the death penalty for certain things. Whoa. Hey, I didn't say it. I'm just reading words. It's not me. Thank you to Eric Burns Marsh, who says, everyone should trust the government. Signed, the agent in charge of the COINTELPRO. Exactly. Thank you to Apu Blocker, All Puff Daddy, who says a few super chats. I'll get to those right here. All Points Bulletin, FBI looking for Fisher Price and Cabbage Patch Dolls. ATF looking for Super Soakers and Cap Guns. DEA looking for Easy Bake Ovens. Hilarious. Also, ABL, what was your favorite toy growing up? Anything like X-Men, stuff like that. That's what I liked. Action figures. That was, when I was a little boy, about 5, 6, 7, that was my thing. Also, Scarlett Johansson complains women are underpaid and undervalued in Hollywood. She's worth $165 million. Exactly. I mean, people say things that don't really make a lot of sense all the time. They just kind of say things just to be woke, to get woke points in their circles. Also, Angie Everhart should have played Black Widow in the Marvel movies. Changed my mind. I've not seen Black Widow yet. I need to check it out just because. Maybe I could do a review on my ABO gaming channel. How about that? If I get some time to watch it. But I've not seen that movie yet. Also, he says at Doug Ripley, once I survived YouTube jail t-shirt. Okay, let me screenshot that and let me get some time to do it. Thank you to Queen of Hearts, who says, I can't see what it is. Oh, keep it up emoji. Thank you for that. Thank you to Apple, who also says VP Kamala, rural folk can't make copies of ID. Shout out to Kevin Etienne, who says, hey, ABO, what kind of camera do you use for your videos? What advice would you have for someone trying to get into political commentary on YouTube? Okay, this camera, I don't advise getting when you first start, because I didn't have it when I first started. I'm going to tell you what I first had, and then I'm going to tell you what I have, because it's a big price difference. Now, what I first had was Logitech C920 webcam. It worked pretty well from what I needed it. The main thing with that is that you got to have good lighting. That'll give you a better picture quality, is good lighting. And what I have right here are 2 soft boxes. I also have one of these to cancel out light under my glasses. It's not on right now because it gets kind of hot, and I'm not trying to be here sweating bullets during the live stream for 3 hours. But I got 2 soft boxes right there. I have regular ambient light to keep things lit well enough for a live stream. But what I first had was a Logitech C920, letter C, number 9, the number 2, the number O, C920 webcam. This right here is a point and shoot DSLR. It's a Sony a6400. Now, it's a big jump in the price. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got to get not only the camera, but also a lens. You also got to get a capture card or something to connect to your computer, because you can't just plug it to your computer. I have I built PCs too. That's a whole different story. I built my PC, and in my PC I have a card. I have what's this? Elgato Cam Link Pro. So it's a PCIe Express card that goes into my motherboard, and on it I have 4 HDMI inputs. So I could put 4 cameras on that one card and have them all at the same time. Like I can have them switch on OBS or whatever I'm using. I also have a cord to go to it. This is a mini or micro USB to HDMI. Then I have a stand. It's a Manfrotto stand with a clamp and a stand that I can maneuver. So it's quite a bit going on here, actually. But if you're just starting, get your Logitech C920, get your Audio Technica A2100 USB microphone. If you got a laptop, plug the microphone in, plug your camera in, and get rocking. And what I always tell everybody, just to be short, not to get into a long class about YouTube, is be consistent. You know, YouTube is going to put roadblocks in the way. You may feel like you're kind of not growing and your stuff is getting stagnant. Just keep being consistent, keep going, keep putting out content, put out a lot of content, but not too much. A video a day is okay to start. Maybe 2 or 3, but no more. But be consistent. Don't put out long videos at first, because I don't know who you are. I want to see bite-sized stuff from you at first to see if I like you. 8 to 10 minutes, you good money. Start, like I said, Logitech C920. It's a USB webcam. Plug it in your laptop or whatever. And the Audio Technica A2100 USB microphone. You'll be good to go. My setup right here is overkill for a normie to use. It's too much. But for me and my level where I'm at, it makes sense. All right. Yeah, now it's not a video card. I have a video card too. Like, I'm gonna tell you what I did. I'm so wild. I bought a whole PC to get a video card out of it. And I got the PC. I might sell some of the PC parts, but I bought the entire PC to get a card on Newegg. So if you can't find the card and they're charging you like $2,000 to do it, get a PC to come with a card already in it and pay less money. Then you get a whole PC and part it out. Do what you got to do with it. Okay, so that's a long answer to your question, but also a very short answer because I could have gone a lot longer. All right, but we got a few more here. Let me go back to where I was. Okay, also, did I get everybody? I guess I did. Okay, thank you to Ray for the donation. Thank you to Miss DFM for your donation. Thank you to Queen of Hearts, already said that one. Thank you to Killer Symphony, who says, Democrat from Atlanta here. My father was a minister. My wife and I agree that anything indoctrinating our children is bad, I suppose, because it didn't finish. But hey, man, I'm right there with you. You know, because some of these things aren't political. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, or whatever. If you are trying to harm children, that should be universally wrong, regardless of what you are politically. So shout out to you for that comment. I appreciate you. Thank you to Apple, who says, please pray for the 1-6 MAGA patriots unfairly jailed. Thank you to Angel, who says, Russia is made into the boogeyman while China is taking advantage of the USA. Oh, yeah. Russia is the bad guy, right? Russia is a big, bad, terrible monster, but China is just fine. Ain't no Uyghur prison camps. Ain't no imperialism going on with Hong Kong, Tibet, Macau, Taiwan, etc. Nope, not going on. Everything's totally fine, right? Funny how that works. Thank you to Kaka, who says eggplant emoji, hilarious. Thank you to Justice, who says today's my birthday. Blame the white man. Happy birthday, sir. How old are you? Enjoy your birthday, man. You know, drink responsibly if you drink it all, and just have a good time, man. Thank you to Love, Live, Serve, who says, hi, ABL, just graduated and got a good paying job. However, during the whole quarantine, I built a lot of lazy habits, which is not going to be acceptable for work. Any advice to be consistent with my work routine like you? Well, you got to just set goals for yourself, kind of like gamify it. I like games, like video games, stuff like that, but I gamify certain things. You get up early as you can, get up early, have goals throughout the day to accomplish. Set a routine and start it with just small things. Okay, I'm going to eat at a certain time. I'm going to eat certain foods. That's important, having a steady, consistent diet, some good foods that taste good but also good for you. I'm not sure what you're doing beyond. I'm not sure what your habits are specifically, so I can't really get into real detail. But my thing is just set goals for yourself, small goals throughout the day, and meet them every day. And let it be kind of a thing you challenge yourself to do. It's like, okay, I can go out here and do this. Like, let it be something you challenge yourself to do. And do it for yourself, not anyone else. Because you're talking about work, and I understand, but it's got to be for you and not anybody else. And then have these habits reflect themselves throughout your life, whether it be in work, relationships, or whatever. I think that probably work out well for you. All right. So we got phone calls on deck. I'm going to get to those right now. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. One thing I'll say is if you eating a lot, you don't need 3 meals a day. I'm going to say that. That's one thing a lot of people do. They're eating 3 meals a day for no reason. It's like, okay, if you're kind of sedentary, kind of sitting on your hind parts, what you eating so much for? You're not going to actually burn that off. But if you work in the rock quarry or something like that, it's a little bit different. You might need the energy. If you're just a regular normie, that you eat too much food. Thank you to Ed, who says, try not to send the corona over the kill the U.S. economy, just saying. And Love, Live, Serve says, yeah, ABM, my personal habits were so bad. Like I literally slept until noon and order Uber Eats and gained like 20 pounds. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Get out to bed early. Get out to bed at least by 7 o'clock. 7 a.m., maybe 8 a.m., depending upon what you got to do. 7 a.m., get out to bed, get dressed. You know, I don't want to see you at the 7-Eleven with your bonnet on. I don't want to see that at 2 p.m. Don't be that person. Don't do that. Get up, get dressed. Maybe do like a little exercise routine and, you know, about 5-10 push-ups. But get up early, get dressed. Even if you don't go anywhere, get dressed, because getting dressed, having a shower, feeling good, you're ready for the day. You don't feel like you just always in the bed, even when you're not in the bed. Because if you're getting up at 12 noon, you eating, just kind of slouching around, like you never leave the bed, although you're up. But if you're up, you're dressed, ready to go, you can get things accomplished, even if you're at home. That's what I always do. You know, like if I got, you know, my nieces over here and they in bed past 8 o'clock, oh no, they getting up. It could be a Sunday. Now you guys getting up, get in the shower, get dressed. That's how I carry it. Yeah, I'm up. And I used to get up a lot earlier. Like if it was my dad, he'd be up 4:30 in the morning because my dad was in the military. 4:30 up, you know, get something to eat. Yeah. Like I know one time I remember somebody had died in my family, and then dad was like, okay, we're gonna go there the same day, get up 4 o'clock in the morning, we leaving, and we're gonna drive there. And then I'm halfway up, getting dressed, like trying to beat the time. And he came to my door with a tie and a shirt, like, put that on right now, we leaving. Like he was ready, he was on it. But you gotta have that type of discipline It's sometimes if you don't have it in you, you can build it up. And now that's why I'm so routine. I'm regimented like that. Somebody said, "Isn't that white think hilarious?" Hilarious. But it's a habit of winners. If you want to win, you got 24 hours in the day. You got to sleep at a certain point, and you got to get this stuff. That's why I'm able to produce so much content. A lot of guys have problems producing the content. Coming up with topics, things of that nature. I mean, I'm so focused and so militant. That's not really me. But I'll move on. Yeah, the early bird will catch the worm. That's right, DJ. The early bird will catch the worm for sure. All right. And then my granddad was in the military too. So making the bed, we get up in the morning, that's mandatory. If I got out the bed and didn't make it, it was a problem. And the bed got to be tight. He did the quarter test, come in the room. Like when I stayed with my granddad and Rono back in the day, he come in the room after I got up and got dressed and made the bed and do the quarter. If the quarter will bounce, then it's like, okay, you got a tight bed. If not, you got to do it over. So that's just, it's just me. That's why I'm like this. Say, are you in the military? Nah, I'm just raised by some guys that didn't take any nonsense. All right, the number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's get to the calls right now. If Skype acts up, it's not my fault. Blame the white man. That was my dad's dad, Charles Hunter Jr. That was my dad's dad that was like that. And my mom's dad, too, he was like that. But he wasn't in the military, I don't think. But he was like that with the bed. He would tell me how to make it, like as far as having the tag on like the back. Yeah. But my dad's dad was in the military. He was super like, he did the quarter test. All right, let's see here. Can we get some sound or nah? Okay, hold on. Oh, I see what's going on. Maybe I don't see what's going on. Let's try this one more time. Oh, there we go. Audio line speaker to 617.
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Hello, this is Rebecca from Massachusetts, Massachusetts, People's Republic of Massachusetts, whatever you want to call it.
All righty, what's going on?
So I have two things. I apologize if you already talked about this first one because I wasn't able to watch the whole show. But did you see how Pennsylvania is going to do a forensic audit and Biden is going to be going there to oppose it?
They're going to do a what audit now?
I'm sorry. The state of Pennsylvania is going to be doing an audit, much like Arizona, a full forensic audit.
Okay.
And I know we're not really paying attention to the results yet because we've gotten our hopes up before about, small than that. But President Biden, his so-called President Biden, is going to Pennsylvania to, speak out against the audit. And what I'm thinking is, don't normies see that and say, why? Why is Biden going there to tell them he doesn't want to prove he won there? Doesn't that look suspicious to people? It
does. It really does. It kind of raises my antenna. It's like, okay, if there's nothing, if there's no problem, nothing to see there, then it's like, why are you going? Why would you be out there to oppose it? Are you just trying to defend yourself? Are you campaigning for yourself? Like, what is the reason why he's going?
Yeah, and we see that. I don't think people who are brainwashed by the Democrats see that, but maybe a small percentage of people are going to second guess and say, that's weird. So hopefully that will be kind of one of the important things that happens is it gets people to say, why are they opposing these things so much? My second thing, so it's a little bit slightly longer and slightly strange. So, okay, I know that people online, when I fight with them, like people in my town, like Democrats, they'll say, well, you're not black, so you can't talk about CRT. Or, listen to black people about CRT. And I'll say, well, Ben Carlson says CRT is garbage, or this person says that. And I always used to think they're so stupid, I'll just find a quote unquote, minority who disagrees with them. But then I realized, no, what they mean to say is the collective black, the monolith, so-called, what they think is the monolith of black people, or the majority of black people disagree with me, are Democrats, so I can't talk at all. Even if you can find one or two exceptions, or what Biden would say, notable exception, that doesn't matter. It's what most black people say. So I'm like, how do I oppose that? I'm thinking a few things. Number one, have they taken a poll of all black people to see what the majority thinks about every issue. Number two, just because a lot of people think a certain way, is it correct? Number three, are we talking emotion or facts? And number four, I don't know if this is even fair to say, but could it be fair to say that a lot of Black people, and white people for that matter, have been brainwashed by the media? So even if they do all think a certain way, or a lot of people do, it's still brainwashing, so it still isn't right. So, like, how do I go about opposing, like, you're not Black, most Black people are for Democrat stuff, so you're stupid and you can't talk?
Well, I mean, the easy way for me would be, okay, who's actually saying it that's Black? Is it guys that go on TV? If that's the case, then there are some guys that go on TV who are Black who say the opposite. So who do you choose to believe? Because we're not talking to those that's just out there in the street. There's no poll of just Black people. If a Black person can go on television that happens to be liberal and agrees with you and says something, I mean, why are they right? Why is their opinion right? And why is a Black conservative's opinion wrong? Who's going to be the arbiter of that? How do you know? We're not talking about everybody. It's just like the whole thing with the voter ID laws. People like Kamala Harris, who I guess is Black or is considered Black a little bit, partially, she would go on TV and say that the voter ID is wrong. And then somebody would say, see, Black folks don't like it. But then when you talk to me, I say something different. And then there's videos. There was one video I talked about earlier of the guy, Ari from Fox. And he went to a college speaking about voter ID. And it was mostly white liberals talking about how it's racist and how Black folks can't do X, Y, and Z. And then he went to the Black community in Harlem and then asked them about voter ID. And was like, nah, it's fine. I got an ID. I know what a DMV is. So the perception is different from reality. And you can't just appoint one person that goes on television to be the Black spokesperson. That's not how it goes.
Right. You're Army Horowitz. You talked to Army Horowitz. That was really funny. I guess maybe they mean, like, well, Black people vote Democrat more, so everything the Democrats say they agree with, but that's not true. It's not true.
I mean, it's not true. I mean, sometimes you can vote Republican and not agree with everything they do. So it's just, you can't just say, okay, because they vote Democrat, that means they go with everything that a lot of Democrats agree with. And then even within that, how many Democrats actually agree with critical race theory? It might not be a thing. That just might not be it.
Okay. All right. I'll just think ignoring a lot of that rather than trying to argue back every point. It's never going to work.
Yeah, it's hard because people, once they get into their how they feel and what they think, it's going to be hard to convince them otherwise.
That's true. All right. Well, I really appreciate your time and everything you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Good call. Good call. Let's get to a few more. Let's go 626 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. How are you?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Good. Thank you. I'm your friendly neighborhood Valley girl over on at Commie Farm. I can't even say it. The left coast.
All righty. Well, what's going on?
I was hoping. Well, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the song about "We're Coming for Your Children."
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a few things I want to say. I have to step lightly, I feel like. First of all, I wanted to say, okay, I'm pretending I'm one of these guys that's part of the gay choir, and the subject of the gay agenda comes up, and then they're saying to each other, like, hey, man, we got to do something about this. Like, people really believe that we're after their children. So what do? Let's make a song saying we're coming after your children. It makes no sense at all, right? And the focus should have, I mean, I imagine like they're trying to say, no, we're going to teach your kids about tolerance and respect for everyone or whatever it was. But that was not the focus of the song. The tone of it was not, oh, you silly people, you're just believing in things that have no bearing whatsoever. Ha ha, we're just going to make a song about how silly the whole thing is and you have nothing to worry about. No, they could, first of all, the guy who sang, no, hold on. The guy who, authored, I don't know the author of the song, but the main guy that they put in the front to sing the song, he had crazy eyes the whole time.
He did.
I'm sorry, just looking at him made me feel very unsettled. And then he had a hostile facial expression. So then the whole song took on a very hostile feel to it. Like, how could anybody think that this was going to fit well with anybody, anyone, much less people who believe in this agenda, right? That it would fit well with them. No way. I'm sorry. Gay choir, bad PR move. Try again. Wouldn't a better thing have been to, like, hey, say, you know, let's kind of like go against the stigma, whatever people are feeling, that, you know, that this is the sexualization of children, you know, let's kind of, you know, throw the ball kind of the other way and support programs that are good for kids, and, you know, something that goes against child abuse. Let's raise money for awareness of abuse, or whatever it is. Go that direction, right? Like, say we are anti this as well as you are, you know, kind of align themselves with those who are fearful and say, no, you have nothing to fear, really, truly. You know, we're on your side. We believe that kids should have, you know, be not be sexualized, not have to deal with anything inappropriate, right? But that was not the tone of the song at all. I didn't see it. I saw Crazy Eyes Magoo, you know, singing the song, and I said, oh, hell no. No, fail, thumbs down. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Thank you, ABL. Bye.
Yeah, the tone of the song was pretty threatening. Like somebody said, temperature check, just to see if, you know, how's everybody feel about it. Is it cool? Is it not cool? Because there were going to be people that defended it and those that did not. And it was calculated, in my opinion, because they already got traction before. I think that was the same people. Remember the whole vaccinate. Remember that song with all the dudes out there singing? I think it was the same guys. They already kind of gone viral a little bit. So like, okay, we got a little bit of steam. What's going to be the next song we put out? Okay, let's put this out about this and see what that does. See where everybody's at. Check everybody's temperature to see how they're going to react and how far can we really push this thing here? You see what I'm saying? In my humble opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, it's Skype caller. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Yes.
Hey, ABL, it's Danny. How you doing?
Oh, well, about yourself?
Yeah, good, thanks. Enjoying the show so far, man.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump on this transgender topic, man, and especially in like sports.
Okay.
Because I think a couple of shows ago or a couple of videos ago, you done one about an Olympian. I can't remember her name, but she got banned for doing weed or something.
Yeah, Richardson, Sha'Carri Richardson.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, and I just find it funny how you allow someone who again was born a male, you know, some guy who's called Bob, and now all of a sudden his name's Barbara. So you allow them to go and compete against females, but yet someone who does a bit of weed, all of a sudden they get banned, and I just find that just kind of odd.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's crazy, but that's the rules. You know, you have bad rules, dumb rules, but they're rules regardless, and you got to follow them. You know, that's just kind of what it is.
Yeah, I take this whole there's not a lot of. I mean, there's not a lot that kind of triggers me, but this whole transgender issue, especially in sports, kind of does, because obviously I'm a personal trainer, and obviously I studied anatomy and physiology and all that stuff, and I kind of obviously know the differences between females and males, especially when it comes into, you know, physical ability. And this just whole allowing males to compete in female sports just because they identify as a female, I think it's disgusting. You know, I don't mean to be sort of blunt, but I think it's just ruining female sports, and you're taking away all these, you know, all the hard work away from these females. You know, they're training their whole lives. From a youngster, they're doing everything right, and all of a sudden a guy comes along and starts taking all the trophies. And yeah, I don't know if you know about a case with an MMA person called Fallon Fox.
Yeah, I saw that where she they whatever were a man and then quote unquote became a woman, and then wound up breaking the woman's a skull or something, fractured her skull.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think, yeah. So he, yeah. I think that he got into it when he was about 30 odd or something. I think he transitioned, then went into MMA and didn't even say I think from what I remember, didn't even say that he was born a male. Just said, no, my name's Fallon Fox. I'm a woman. Only trained martial arts for about a couple of years. then went into the tournament, blitzed his way through through like 4 or 5 of them, got to the final, and I think lost the final match. But it goes to show you that the difference, you know, like he only trained for a couple of years and then jumped into the top already and then got to the championship. I mean, and then at the end, I think he come out and said, well, I didn't really thought it was necessary to come out and actually say I was born a female. Born a male. And you're like, are you kidding me? Are you insane in the membrane or something? Because that doesn't, I mean, you should be locked up for doing that, but I guess not.
Yeah, I guess not. It's crazy, but people, it's like I don't understand what's going on. People are kind of crazy with this whole situation, and I just hope that some sanity comes back into the world, because you can't have biological men compete against women. It's just unfair. They talk about, oh, we can reduce the testosterone down to a certain level. Well, that's not going to change the size of your head, the size of your hips and your hands and your jawline and stuff like that. You're still going to have this 15-foot long jaw and all this and that. So it's just unfair to women. It's going to get to the point where there won't be any more biological women in sports. It'll all be either straight men, regular men, or these different type of people that aren't biological women.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I agree, I'm on the same page as with you about, again, like I don't care about your sexuality, if you're gay, if you're bi or whatever. You do what you want in your own personal life. Keep it to yourself. I don't see why you have to go out on the street and start screaming what you are and who you want to be with. No one cares. But when it comes to sports and going into certain fields, and it's like yes, that is an issue. Like, and we have to speak about it, and we can't be afraid to, speak the truth. I mean, because you get people take advantage. They think, because the thing that I noticed as well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, sorry for, but I've never seen a person who was born a female transition into a male and then going into male sports and competing against males.
I've never seen that before in my life. I have seen people that have gone that direction just in general, but I've never seen them compete in sport against men. Never in my life have I ever seen that.
And I wonder why. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's something there. And it's like, why is it always the other way around? It's because people are just taking advantage of some sort of loophole, I guess. And I just personally, I don't know how those individuals sleep at night, knowing that they're ruining people's careers that we've worked their whole lives to do. And yeah. So yeah, man, I just wanted to touch on the transgender issue, because I think it has to get stamped out now before it kind of spreads like another virus, basically. Yeah.
Right.
And this whole vaccine issue as well. Do you really think this whole sort of door-to-door vaccine thing is actually going to be like a real thing? Is that actually going to start happening, or is that just sort of talk at the moment?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, because they're talking about they're going to go door to door, but I'm not sure what that means. Is it going to be the federales doing it? Is it going to be regular people? I don't know how they're going to do it, or where they're going to do it, or if certain states are able to oppose it. I don't know, but they're talking about it, so we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully they don't do it, because I think that it might not end very well, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not vaccinated, and hopefully, if it remains like your choice, I never will, because I trust my immune system. I'm a young guy. I have a good diet. I exercise. Blah 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 blah. So I feel like, well, I'd rather not take the vaccine, if that's okay. Please just give me like a choice. And getting your doctors and your GP texting you saying, come and get this free vaccine. Like, well, first off, I hope it's free, and secondly, I wouldn't, even if you used to pay me, I still wouldn't take it. I don't understand why you can't just kind of leave me alone and not come and pester me in my own house and knock at my door, telling me you need to inject this experimental, chemicals in your body. And it's like, dude, I mean, I just don't know why they can't just leave you alone and just give you the choice, as you said before, put it on the table, say, if it's here for you, if you want it. If you don't want to take it, then all right, don't take it. But it's slowly not becoming a choice, and that's what I'm afraid of, obviously, because I'm in the UK and I don't know if it's obviously going to come over here. And
right,
that's kind of sort of bugs me a little bit. Yeah, but sorry, I don't mean to take up too much of your time, ABL. I know you've got other callers.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, take care, ABL. Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Good call. 404, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hey, this is ABL.
Yes, it is.
Oh wow, I know I got in with you. Just a quick question. So when do you think things will get back to normal when, like, you won't have Don Lemon says that Michelle Obama's better looking than Melania, or like Seth Meyers on late night saying that the conservative movement is a fraud. It just seems so polarized now. Would it be just for a new president, or what do you think?
I think it'll be this way for a while. It'll be this way for as long as America is still the best place to be. And what I mean by that is people generally live good lives here. Now, there's problems, obviously. It's not perfect, but people generally live very good lives. People kind of have it easy. And as long as that's continuing, you're going to have some people that are just entrenched into these beliefs that aren't true. They can afford to have these beliefs as long as things are going well. To just totally believe things are wrong, it's all right, because, you know, there's no reason to live in reality when everything's going right. But once things go bad, I mean, it seems like once things go bad, then they got to live in reality.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Once things go bad, then they got to live in reality, and a lot of this polarizing stuff is going to go away because they won't have time for that. They'll be trying to get some food to eat. Yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. It just seemed like when Trump got elected, basically, everything flipped. I mean, like with Obama, Don Lemon wasn't really that bad. He was like, you could say he was like very objective, and then things took a 180 with Trump.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think Trump is part of it. But see, the problem is that before Trump, a lot of people were just kind of, that the masses were calmer. The masses were kind of, I think Trump, what his job was to get everybody awake. And a lot of people that were not really politically involved, that were not really awake, all of a sudden, it's a big awakening. So now CNN is being challenged. Before, they could put out an article on CNN and people wouldn't question it. It wouldn't really be a big thing. Now they're going to challenge it. And also a lot of these networks, a lot of the news networks kind of got hooked on this negativity. They were already kind of negative. I mean, if it bleeds, it leads. That's been the motto for a long time. But then when Trump came along and then they had this whole anti-Trump rhetoric, that kind of fueled them to just do that a lot. And also, let's not forget about the cord cutting. People are not watching television as much anymore. So it's fine when things are going right, but when things are going wrong, then there's something else going on. And I think that's part of what they're doing. That's why they've done, I think, 3 documentaries about January 6th on CNN, because nobody's going to watch them if not for the Trump hate stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think hopefully, I just think like if someone else was president other than Joe Biden, I think it wouldn't be this bad. Because Joe Biden he just says vote for me because I'm not Trump, or Trump is bad. He doesn't say vote for me because of so and so policy.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just kind of a weird time. That's all.
All right. Well, thanks for taking my call. It's the first time I got through.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah.
All righty. Let's get to some more here. Let's go 305 here on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, Michael Rodriguez.
All righty. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going? I'm glad to make it. Yeah, so I just was going to make a quick comment regarding one of your previous callers about the female competitors, and something just occurred to me. Imagine like a slightly sci-fi world where you would have a woman who could potentially, you know how people get implants of, how do you say, you can put like transplant kidneys and stuff like that. Imagine a woman were to implant testicles onto herself.
All right. Okay. Wait. Stop. Where are we going with this? Because we got kids watching. So where are we going?
Well, no. What I was going was imagine you remember how people were saying, well, if you do drugs, you wouldn't be able to. That's you're automatically kicked out. If you were to inject steroids into yourself, you're obviously kicked out of Olympic. Imagine if you were to have some sort of mechanism that would naturally do, in other words, you know how some people do, what's that word, when people do the transformation, transgender transformation, or they make their bodies from male to female. Well, if a person competes identifying as a female, or if someone even does some sort of a bodily change and now says that they're females, if they were to add something to themselves that would create testosterone, that in a way was to stop someone from now saying, well, that's somewhat natural. In other words, it can get to the point where if a lot of men who do certain surgeries can compete with women, in a way that's almost like an enhancement, that people are doing. And if you can't say that you can't inject yourself with certain steroids or certain things that would enhance your sports ability, doing other sorts of transformation, even if you are male, female, whatever, that in a way can be a way of saying, well, you've actually enhanced your body to compete differently than other people. So what would stop some people from just completely changing in that aspect? And that would be, in my opinion, something that should be considered. Whether just because someone says that they were born with something. If I recall, there was a long time ago where there was a woman that was kicked off of a team. I think it was from running. I can't remember the sport, because she just had like a male chromosome, and that alone was enough to disqualify her. But now you have people, just because they say that they are, they identify as women, now all of a sudden they're allowed to compete and continue with the competition. So, just one of those thoughts, that I was, something that just occurred to me that I just wanted to see what you thought about.
Yeah, I don't really, I think they have rules about testosterone levels, but that's not even really, that's kind of irrelevant. The point is that you shouldn't be able to be a male biologically and compete against women. They got rules for that. Like they say, okay, you got to be on certain types of drugs because testosterone down, but that's not gonna actually do anything to overcome the biological advantages that exist beyond the testosterone and things of that nature. And if a woman tried to become a man and then, had, I guess, naturally occurring testosterone, if she has levels above a certain level, she get disqualified, even if she's actually biological, a woman. But she really couldn't compete against biological men, because even if she has high testosterone levels, it won't change her physical body from the biology. It wouldn't make a difference, really. It is should still be the same. That's why somebody was talking about it earlier. Like, you don't see women transition and then compete against men, because they are at a disadvantage regardless.
Yeah, and then my point is, if you would have people starting to say, well, I can identify as a woman, and then they naturally have more muscle mass. It's not going to be obviously fair. But if other people start changing things and doing things enhancement, and say, well, I changed myself, I changed who I appear, but I still identify as a woman. If they start off as a woman, but started changing parts of their body, like certain surgeries. I got you. It's almost like the same thing. In other words, to what point are women going to be subjected to having to compete with the whole process of male differences? What kind of state are we going to put some people there? So once again, I know there's a lot of athletic women out there who can run circles around a lot of men. They're very, very
but not they can't do it. They can't do it at a high level. It's just because
not at a high level, not at an NFL.
But hold on, but I'm gonna just intersect. I got more calls. I'm gonna just say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, okay, even the fastest woman that qualified for the Olympics, Richardson, her score was still much slower than the slowest guy to qualify. So, at the end of it, what really matters is X or XY. All the other stuff is just kind of incidental. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. All right. No problem.
All right. Yeah, X or XY. All this other stuff they try to put in there. They try to say you got to have low testosterone, high testosterone. It's like, that should be more for people that are biologically male and biologically female. not for people that are different biologically. Let's go 612. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Madeline Tice.
Alrighty, what's going on?
Hey, I'm just calling about the LGBT community, and I think a lot of people in our community are there's a lot of pedophiles trying to come into our community, and I think we lack a lot of strong men. And I just think that if we had stronger men in our community, that this would be an issue. Like there's a community they call themselves MAPS. Like they're trying to normalize pedophilia, and they're trying to come into the LGBT community and trying to say like, I'm this and I'm that, and like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. So basically, you got people that just happen to be gay or LGBT, whatever it is, and they're not trying to bother people. They're not trying to push themselves upon others. But the issue is you have those that are trying to do some things that are illegal, things they shouldn't be doing, things that they cannot do. They can go to jail for it, and they're trying to kind of blend in. It's just like the whole thing with the Catholic priests. You got regular priests that just want to serve, they want to do their thing, but then you also have a bunch of guys that just want to have access to children, so they infiltrate that space as well. So similar thing, right?
Yeah, and that's why the video that I saw with the gay men's chorus really bugged me this week, because when I heard about that they had pedophiles, I was like, we need to stand up in our community and exile these people. Like, I was always taught that there's only one cure for a pedophile. If you really think about it, you have people that murder people, and they only murder people
be
once.
Careful, be careful, because the streets are watching, so be careful.
But if you think about, a lot of these people are repeat offenders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know where you're going, but don't go there. But I know where you're going.
Okay, you know where I'm going. But it's like, I think people in our community, like, they're always like, stand with the black people, stand with the immigrants, well, where our people need to stand up and get these people out of our community, because it's really just bringing our community down, bringing our community look bad, because we're letting in dangerous criminals that hurt children.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's a serious problem that needs to be addressed. I'm glad you said something, because a lot of people don't want to say anything like that. They kind of just let these things happen. So I'm glad a lot of you guys are speaking up and saying, no, this ain't right. We got to put an end to this. We can't just let this dangerous part of society come into our community. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, thank you. And then I just want to say a shout out to my mom, Deborah, if you're watching. Yeah, cool.
All right. Shout out to Deborah. Thank you for calling. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Hey, that's a good call, because you got some people that are just gay. They happen to be gay. That's their business, whatever. And it's not my business. If they law abiding, they not doing nothing. I'm no moral police. So you do you. That's your business, not mine. That's fine. I learned a long time ago, because I've seen so much in these streets. I've seen so much. I've seen things I can't unsee. You understand what I'm saying? I've seen so much that I know I can't judge people from a moral point of view, or think that I know how everyone is, because I don't know everything. I've seen some things that have surprised people that don't surprise me anymore. I'm just like, yep, expected that. But anyway, if you just happen to be part of the community and you just law abiding beyond that, so what? Whatever. The problem is when some of these criminal LGBTs get the megaphone and become the face. Now we got a problem. Now we got an issue. When they try to say, oh, you know what, I'm going to engage in criminality under the banner of LGBT, and if you don't like it, that means you're a bigot. No, I don't like criminals. I don't care what you identify as. You can identify as Morton Salt. You can identify as a cloudy day. You can identify as a missed phone call, an ignored text message. Whatever it is, you're a criminal, period. But I digress. Let's go to 228. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 228. Hello.
Hello. Hey, who's this? ABL?
Yes, it is.
Oh, hey, this is Valerie from Mississippi.
All righty. What's going on?
Okay. I just wanted to bring up like a different kind of. Joe Biden wants to have people go around door to door, you know, like his Gestapo, his stormtroopers. I mean, what are they going to do if we say no, we don't want it? Or are they going to drag us out and put us in camps and keep us away? You know, and there's this thing going around on the internet and everything else that they're going to require that you carry a paper or a card showing that you've been vaccinated, and if the police stop you and ask, in other words, like Nazi Germany, papers, please. You know, that's unconstitutional. You know, that's not going to work. I know it ain't going to work in Mississippi. I know it ain't going to work in Mississippi, and I know it ain't going to work in Virginia, because them damn people in Virginia shoot your ass. In Mississippi, the same thing. But that's what it's going into, a paper please law.
Yeah, we don't want that at all. That's not going to fly.
No, but I mean, that's what they're contemplating. That's what they're contemplating. Like the Gestapo go around and stop people on the street. Let me see they're gonna talking about issuing a certificate or a card showing that you had the shot. You know?
Right.
So how you think that's gonna work?
Yes, not too well. So they got to do something else, because this plan, it don't look too good from what I'm hearing.
No, but I mean, that's what people around here are talking about, that, saying, papers, please. I'll show them my papers. I'll show them the receipt for this 410 I got. You know, that's the only kind of paper they're going to see.
Right.
You know, well, that's all I got to say, but they're contemplating. I mean, this thing about going door to door, I've never heard of such a thing. And if people want the shots, they're available. I live a block and a half from a CVS. I can walk in there and get it anytime I want. They don't have to come to my door.
That's right.
You know, they don't. I got 2 Rottweilers, Ava and Adolf. That's all I got to say to anybody wanting to knock on my door. They better think about it.
Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, great call. Wow. All right. Shout out to y'all. You guys are the best audience anywhere, I tell you. The best audience, the best callers, the best. The number to call, 434-658-1220. 405, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's Travis. 1 second. Sorry, let me turn my audio off.
All righty.
I appreciate your show, man. How you doing?
Everything's great. About yourself?
I'm great. Hey, so I heard you mention the term New World Order earlier. What does that term mean to you exactly?
I said that earlier? Oh, yeah, I did say that.
Well,
I was kind of in a rant. I remember now. Now the New World Order, what it means to me is, how can I say it? I don't want to be talking too long, but basically, you have some people that see the world going in one direction, in one way, like a kind of a collective, kind of a one world government. That's probably the best way to sum it up. One world government, everybody kind of just being as one currency, lack of sovereignty, not owning anything. And some people want to push that as the way forward for the world, for the dominant countries in the world, at least.
Well, I totally agree. And I think it's, people, when you hear that term, people think automatically like it's a big conspiracy theory and it's so far-fetched. But the more and more you look at it, it's becoming a real issue. Like, these world superpowers are, when they have certain leaders in place, like we have Biden now,
they're not looking out for their own country's interests. They're trying to figure out a way that everyone can progress together, quote unquote, in a safe and secure manner, quote unquote. And they're using this fear to try and let the state kind of rule over everyone. But I just thought it was interesting to use that term because, of course, it's a buzzword, you know, amongst conspiracy groups. And I think people hear that and they dismiss it because that's what you do, because it's a buzzword. And I thought it was interesting to point out that it's a real thing and people are really pushing for that. When you consider the World Economic Forum, things like that.
Yeah, I mean they do it every year. They got the G7. They got all this stuff all the time. They show it. They show us a little bit, so we're not totally surprised when it happens, or when if it does happen. I don't want to just put it out there like it's going to be like it's an inevitable thing, but they put it out there a little bit to show us what's going on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they want to condition people to get used to the idea, and then so when it starts to actually things start coming around, it's like, whoa, well, you know, we've seen this in movies and stuff, of course it could happen. It's like, but anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because you know, it's a buzzword in this truth community, quote unquote truth community, you know, and I just wanted to bring up that it's a real issue. It's not just a conspiracy theory, quote unquote.
Right.
But I appreciate your thoughts on that. And I thought that last caller from Mississippi, she had a great line about showing her papers. I'll give him the receipt for my 410.
There you go.
Well, hey, brother, love you. Have a good night. Take care. God bless.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All righty. All right, Sharik, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, what's up, man? I just want to just talk about January 6th, the liberal insurrection, which was not an insurrection at all. But I'm just frustrated with it because, you know, they're still talking about that nonsense in Congress. And I don't know if Trump supporters learned anything from this, man. Because I'm going to be honest with you, man, when that incident took place, I was very upset, man, because what Trump and Trump supporters got to understand is that the media was looking for a right wing or a conservative or a Trump supporter protest.
Yep.
That's something that they was begging for, that ABL. And you got to understand, how do we know that at that fake insurrection there weren't agent provocateurs on the left? Now, I'm not saying that there really were, but how do we know that got together and made sure that those Trump supporters was going to storm the Capitol just to ratchet it up? And then you got to understand this. We are the most powerful country in the world, right? And we occupy other countries. How is it that on January 6th, there's like no security? I mean, that is wild to me. And I just saw a video where the police opened up the gate and was waving the people in. To me, I'm sorry, this seemed like a gift. And what Trump supporters and Trump got to understand is that the aftermath of it is positive to liberals. Censorship has gone crazy, bro. They are censoring it like all right wingers. And if you are like really too critical of liberal agenda, you know, you talk about Hunter Biden, or even you just say something that's just like doesn't agree with the standard messaging of COVID, you could get censored. And I even heard that Twitter was talking. And I don't know if it's Facebook or Twitter. One of them said that they are no longer allowing politicians to have any type of immunity. This is not a win for the right. It's not. What just frustrates me is you got some right wingers saying that's, you know, patriots out there. No, man, no. And, you know, I kind of fought Trump too, because Here's the main criticism I have with Donald Trump. Donald Trump knew that the media and social media companies hated him. During his presidency, what he should have done was create an alternative social media account either on Parler, on Gab, or on Rockfin or whatever, and boosted those up. So when the media comes down on him, when they come down on him, he has backup. But he didn't do it. And what frustrates me about that is that Trump, for some reason, relied on the liberal systems that hated him. And I think conservatives are going to have to learn from this and take an L on this. You cannot rely on this liberal system to be fair. And I'm going to be honest with you, too, bro. That lawsuit Trump is launching, I don't know how far that's going to go, man. Like, I just feel like we live in a country that is biased towards conservatives, man. We live in a country that no longer wants free speech, that wants to feed you on how you're supposed to think and act. And if you don't act that way, they punish you economically. Like, it's not even America anymore. And we have people in this country that don't even love to be in the daggone country they was raised in. Like that woman, Wynn Berry, who's going to embarrass the United States. But you supposed to be representing our country, but you protesting the flag. And we're not gonna have you do that in a foreign country, but I feel like she's still gonna do that nonsense. And that's only because we just have a media that kind of trains the American public to hate their country. But yeah, man, like I'm just gonna ask you, like, what do you think about that? Because they're still talking about January 6th in Congress. Like, what do you think about that?
About what now? What was the question?
That they're still talking about January 6th in Congress, as if they're still traumatized over it. Like, what do you think about that?
But I saw it coming because I knew right when that happened, I was like, this been talked about forever. Because like you said, they were looking for a reason. Just one reason, one thing they can get on us, and they got it at the very end. I knew that it'd be another impeachment that tried to come out of that. I knew that it'd be all types of propaganda over and over and over again. And my thing was, we got to just kick back against that because we know that when you go to a Trump rally, we don't act like this. I've been to a lot of different Trump rallies, a lot of different events. I've never seen anything like that. The only time I ever seen anything close was when outside groups came in and tried to protest, but never us. It was always outside people. But a lot of us, not all of us, some of us want to own it. And that's making it worse because then they could point to and say, hey, well, they say that they like it. They say that they are for it. You got prominent voices talking about it. So it's a thing that doesn't help us at all. It's just a tool that's used to hurt us. So I don't really see the purpose.
And let me ask you this. Do you think Republicans, even the ones that agree with Donald Trump, should be calling that an insurrection? Because the problem I have with Republicans, it's like liberals create the narrative and we repeat that. Like, I would say every single time a liberal calls that an insurrection, I would always bring up Black Lives Matter protests in the summer. I would say terrorism. I would say until you call their protests terrorism against United States citizens, we're not going to use insurrection. But this is my frustration with Republicans is that when they repeat that's an insurrection, they give power to that weak protest as being the worst protest in American history. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like you said, they set the tone, they set the narrative. We repeat it. We can't do that. We can't just allow them to drag us around like we little puppies. We got to be able to stand up and say, no, that was not an insurrection. It was an incident, whatever. Some guys are standing up and saying it wasn't. One guy said tourists. That's kind of what it was, really, because you got guys walking in single file lines and between the ropes. You got some morons in there, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. They're talking about it was like beyond 9/11, beyond slavery, stupid stuff. So we can't just allow them to dictate it. We have to be able to kick back and be honest rather than just going with the mainstream narrative.
Yeah, bro, and that's just pretty much all I want to say. I just want to end with this for the Trump supporters. Guys, just be careful of assembling and protesting and doing things like that. Because I'm telling you, this is what they want. They will have agent provocateurs in there. They don't know if they're conservative or liberal. They don't know who they are. All they got to do is buy a darn Trump hat and be silly. You don't gotta fall for this, guys. Just play it smart. Attack the system in another way. Protest solves nothing, and that's all I want to say, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right, take care, man.
Yeah, he's right on point. Right when that happened, I said it. A lot of you guys were watching. I said they're gonna use this over and over and over. It's gonna be a weapon against us, and we're not. It's gonna be years talk about it. Years. They said Russia for 4 years with no evidence, nothing. They did a whole trial, impeachment, all of this and that and the third, came up with a goose egg, nothing. But yet they still talk about it right now. But with the Capitol thing, you got videotape, people talking about, yeah, it was a good thing. They done got 3 documentaries on it on CNN already. How is this helpful? And we know that there was some FBI, some federales involved. We know that because you got a bunch of guys that are in the penitentiary or jail right now, just kind of languishing. But some guys that should be in jail with them are not in jail. Why? Huh? You tell me. Why would somebody that should be in jail not be in jail? Huh? FBI agent, CIA agent, informant. We already know about Proud Boys, how that was a Fed operation. You got Enrique Tarrio. He gets arrested like the day or the 2 before the actual Capitol situation. The FBI said we knew that there was going to be some activity, possibly a riot. We knew it beforehand. They came out and said that publicly. They came out and said that they requested to get some more backup. But long before the actual thing happened, days before, and it was denied. So come on, like, let's just put 2 and 2 together. Why would we try to claim that when we knew that there was some things going on that shouldn't be, that we were not involved with? We are peaceful people. You can protest peacefully. Those of us that went there for that purpose. I wasn't there, but a lot of my friends were, for a peaceful purpose, not to go in there and doo-doo on the wall and stuff like that. That's Antifa stuff. Antifa had been in D.C. for about 2 or 3 years or more than that. They were right there in D.C. the whole time. So you don't think anybody from Antifa put on a MAGA hat, went in there and tore some stuff up, and then try to say, oh, well, we're Trump supporters, all this. Come on. Let's just. And then who put the bombs in the who did that? Still nothing. We're seizing Lego sets, so we still don't know who put the bombs right there. Come on. But I digress. Let's get back to the calls. 623 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Francisco Moreno.
All righty. What's happening?
Oh, Frank. Wow, I wasn't expecting to get the call. Anyway, just listening to your podcast. What topic are we specifically on right now? Just still on the old January 6th and all that?
It's whatever's on your mind, politically related, whatever's happening, just whatever's on your mind. Let's talk about it, politically related.
Gotcha. Yeah, this administration, since it came into office, has been completely and utterly just destroying everything that has come to pass from our past 4 years. I've been sickened by it, as over time, especially the whole thing about the Biden plan with the whole saving you 16 cents or something like that for your barbecue.
Yeah, that whole thing was crazy.
Go ahead.
Now, I was just saying that was crazy. The whole 16 cents on the barbecue was like, why would you even promote that? What am I going to do with 16 cents? I can't even get a gumball from the gumball machine.
Right. It's like you couldn't, I was thinking when you said that, I started laughing and I said, yeah, I'm going to go buy my land with that money. And just the situation right now, too, has been crazy with the whole thing about the federal government and them, talking about, that, oh, well, we've been paying you. So it is our business. And I said, well, no, it's really not. Just the way they've been talking recently, it really sounds like they want, something to rise up and happen. That's the way I'm seeing it right now, is they really want somebody to pop off already.
Yeah, I think they do.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now you good. Go ahead.
Oh, I feel like they're really starting to push into the notion of, they haven't said it yet, but I really think they're coming to a point where they're going to start disregarding anything the Constitution says and just start following their own things because they feel like they can, and that nobody's pressing to stop them. But the thing is, I think also too, they're scared because of the recount that's happening right now and everything else. So I'm just paying attention, but just the way Biden has been speaking, it's been kind of scaring me a little bit with the whole thing of like basically government, military control and things like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty scary.
What do you think about, I guess, the current climate? And I would say, what do you think about the whole, them starting to kind of hint at, full on military takeover?
Well, the climate is predictable as far as a lot of things that the left want to get accomplished. They're trying to put a lot of propaganda out there. So that's kind of to be expected. Now, what was the second part of your question?
Just like, what do you think about this administration kind of hinting at like military takeover?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I'm not really sure they'd be able to accomplish a military takeover because I don't think the military, I think the morale is not where it needs to be for them to be able to command the military to do something like that. I don't think it will really work. You got a volunteer military, people not conscripted and not forced to do this. So I think even with the whole thing right now with the vaccine, I've read a news story where they're talking about mandatory vaccines in the military, and guys have spoken to me privately off the record saying, hey, I'm not going to do this. I might have to, I'm not going to re-enlist. I might, if I got to get a dishonorable discharge, so be it. I'm just not going to do it. So yeah, this is not going to go that way as far as military takeover, as far as them using the military takeover. Now, it could go the other way, but that's a different story.
It just seems like, I just want to know, like, what is in this vaccine that they want us to get it so bad? It's not FDA approved. It's been proven to kill multiple people on end. It's like, what is in this thing that they want us to have so bad? It's like, it's just crazy. Like, they keep pushing it, and Biden's like, yeah, we're just going to start going door to door. Like, I'm curious, like, why not? If it's not approved by the FDA, and if Johnson & Johnson created a baby powder that gave people cancer 10 years ago, and how are we going to trust them with the vaccine too? It just boggles my mind.
Yeah, you can't really. I mean, I'm not going to do it. Some may want to do it, and that's fine, but it just ain't going to be me. So we'll see how the whole thing goes. I hope we don't get down to the point where we're talking about mandatory, because that's going to be a serious, serious problem. I don't foresee that happening because it's not going to go over. You got a lot of states that are going to kick back. People are going to kick back. It's just not going to happen.
I mean, Texas especially has been kind of like on the rise of that, and Ted Cruz and them, kind of like behind the shadows. You know what I mean? Like, we don't really hear much good news anymore on the news, but like Ted Cruz and them have really been really on it about the whole like border situation and everything else. Also, you guys got to, for Second Amendment people, watch out, because apparently California just passed a new law, and they're trying to basically sneak things in and take stuff away.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Thank you for answering.
No problem. All right. And the phone lines are blowing up. I'm going to try to get to you guys as soon as possible, so y'all just keep on. And I'm going to go ahead and get to you as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. All right, let's go. Okay, hold on one second. Wow, these calls are going so quick, I can't even get to them. Okay, let's go. 973, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
And the phone lines aren't blowing up.
Oh wow! Let me cut my stuff down, Anthony.
All right.
Okay, let me add YouTube off. We good?
Are we good? Well, I still hear it in the background. Let's turn it off for me.
You still hear some echo?
Yeah, just go ahead and turn it off. Yeah.
Turn my iPad off. We good?
Yeah, we're pretty good. So what's happening?
Everything's good, man. First of all, Roderick from New Jersey, let me congratulate you on your marriage. First of all, I've been married 45 years, and hopefully yours lasts that long, and it will.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So on the vaccine, my wife got the vaccine. She just got a second vaccine on Thursday. I have not yet gotten the vaccine. I will not get the vaccine. What's making me laugh, but it's not really funny, is that now I heard a report that they want to give the people that got both vaccines a booster.
Yep, a third shot. So if you got two, like that's from Pfizer. So if you already got two, they want to give you a third one.
Right. So what are they, 10 cushions now? It's ridiculous, you know? Hey, I respect the law. I walk out with my mask when I go into a store. When I'm outside, I haven't worn a mask outside since the beginning of the thing. But if they want me to wear a mask in the store, I wear a mask. I haven't had any problems. But the game that they're playing on the people, I just don't understand. Now, one more thing I want to mention. I just read that they had 20,000 new cases of the variant. Have you heard? Or the COVID-19?
I've not heard that.
Yes, it's on. I just read it online on Yahoo. In the 4 days, it's 20,000 new cases. So I told my wife, I said, they're not saying if those 20,000, how much of those 20,000 new cases are people who already had both vaccines, because you're giving them the vaccine, so you've given them COVID. So I'm sure some of those people who already got both vaccines are catching COVID.
Mm.
You know, right. I have no fear of the COVID. I'm be truthful. Maybe people will call me foolish. I have no fear that I'm going to get COVID. I'm not saying it's not out there, but you know, I don't see anybody around in my neighborhood kicking the bucket.
Right, I'm with you.
You know, and then the next thing I want to tell you, I'm not going to stay on long because I know other people's waiting. This Olympic thing where they want to now all of a sudden see if they could change the marijuana laws. Okay. Now, follow me on this, Anthony Brian Logan. They're saying that marijuana does not enhance your ability to do sports better. Okay, so let's look at the 100-meter dash. They're saying marijuana relaxes you, right? So what is one of the penalties that happen in the 100-meter dash? You jump off the blocks too soon, right?
Yeah.
So if marijuana relaxes you, then yes, it enhances your ability to not jump off the blocks too soon. So that means you have an advantage right there. Nobody's mentioning that. Everybody's saying, oh, it's not a performance-enhancing drug. If it relaxes you, then guess what? You already enhanced your performance. You're less nervous. So, it's ridiculous to even want to allow any type of drug into something that wants to be drug-free since it began. Since the Olympics began in the beginning of time with the Romans. They always wanted to be pure. Yes, we have had people that cheated, but you still want to keep it pure. And with that, I'll let you reply if you want to on that. And I'll get off the line.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Yep. Thanks for taking my call, Anthony.
All right. Yeah. The thing about the whole, I think I watched this Fox Sports 1. I think I might have been watching the show with Marcellus Wiley and Acho. And Acho was saying that an enhancement can be a thing that adds or takes away if what it takes away is advantageous and if what it adds is advantageous. You know, but see, my thing is not even getting into the argument about whether weed is a performance enhancer or not. It doesn't even matter. The fact is that it's just the rules. You got to follow the rules. They also have rules. Some of the rules are dumb. They also contradict. You can't have weed in your system, but you can be biological male and compete against biological females. That doesn't make any sense. But also, what was it? Oh, if you miss curfew, that can get you disqualified. If you don't have a good explanation as to why you didn't answer a phone call. It's all kind of just rules that everybody knows and you got to follow. So that's why Sha'Kari's not saying she should run, because she knows she violated the rules and you can't do that. Nico, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Hello, Anthony?
Yes, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I hear you well. Can you hear me?
How you doing, sir?
Everything's great. How about yourself?
Yeah, I can. How you doing, sir? I'm back from, it's been a while. Are you doing okay?
I'm great, man. How about you, man? How's everything been with you?
Uh-oh. Well, to cut things short right here, for the sake of a lot of time, let's just say I live near Sacramento. I don't live in the Bay Area anymore, and to be honest, I actually kind of feel a lot happier closer to Sacramento. Let's just put it that way.
Very good. I'm glad.
Yeah, but to cut things, to try to squeeze this in the allotted time, I mean, with all this rushed vaccination stuff, I don't think there's a lot of examples throughout history that people cannot grasp. That I'm going to tell you about several examples right here that during the 1940s, during World War II, when there was yellow fever, the U.S. military rushed to get their troops vaccinated, and it led to there were severe side effects where there were growing cases of hepatitis B within the military.
Right. I remember that.
Hello, sir?
Yeah, can you hear me? I remember that. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah, or also, what about during the 1950s, during the polio vaccine, where it led to severe cases of paralysis, or even in the 1970s, where I believe it was during the Gerald Ford administration, where during the H1N1 outbreak, the severe side effects of that particular vaccination was that it led to high fever, especially in young children.
Yeah, I know there was a guy, I forget his name. He was a old mob guy. He was talking about how he had, you know what I'm talking about? Gianni Russo?
Hello? Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you right there. Or second of all, with all these rush vaccinations going door to door, why should I take people from these experts that are especially the top medical experts that are having these fancy lavish dinners with Gavin Newsom somewhere in Napa with these $10,000 dishes each, when yet they're not following their own masking rules, their own social distancing rules. And meanwhile, a lot of these people who lecture you about take care of your health, get the vaccination, they're the ones who are pandering these, and ironically, the McDonald's, the Krispy Kreme, which leads to severe cases of diabetes, or the fact that these people, even when you look at them at the first glance, the majority of these people look so old, they look so out of shape, they look so unkept, they don't seem to have self-moderation to their own health. So why should I be lectured by these type of folks?
I understand.
Right. But I know you have a lot of callers, more than usual from the last time I saw, but I'm probably going to cut it very short, Anthony, and let you carry on to your other callers. But thank you for taking my call, sir.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good one.
All right. Shout out to Nico for the call. He's having a little bit of audio problems, but shout out to Nico. Been a while since he called in. All right. Let's get to some more here. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. There it is right there in the bottom of the screen, 434-658-1220. And the number is always in the description box below the video. So let's do this. Let's go. Y'all just hang tight. 607, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
I couldn't have a little bit of audio problem.
Hey,
What's going on?
not much, Anthony. I have a question for you. Can
right.
you do me a favor? Help dispel the BS that everybody's believing that all of these audits that are going on are going to make Trump become president again, because it's not true.
Well, I don't know anything about that. I'm not following the audit, so you're asking the wrong guy.
Well, I'm just thinking that people think that because the audits are going out and showing people that what is going on will actually make Biden, disappear, and that Trump is going to come back in and play because he's available. It's not really true, because they've already called the ballots on the vote. You know what I'm saying? So once they've called the ballots, he can't go back in, and he can't just automatically become president again.
Okay, like I say, I'm not even really following the audits. I really don't even care too much until they come to a conclusion. And then whatever the conclusion is, they can let me know at that point, and then we'll deal with it. But for right now, I'm not even really watching at all.
All right. Well, I was hoping you would, but okay.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really my, I don't know anything about it, quite honestly. You could say that, and all right, that's fine, but it's like it's so many little news updates and all that. Let's just get to the conclusion. Let's just get to the finality, and then whatever happens, we'll just do with it when it happens. Yeah, if it's to protect future elections or whatever. I don't know anything about that whole getting Trump back in. I don't know nothing about that. I do with what we got going on right now, and that's it. That's all we can do, really, is what we got going on right now. Let's get to some more calls. Let's go. 614, you're online. I'm speaking to 614, hello.
Hey, sorry, hang on for a moment. It's weird because where I'm getting your show, it's quite delayed, actually.
Yeah, you can't watch the stream while you on the call. So what's happening?
Yeah, not much. It's Will Pollard from Australia again. I called you a couple of weeks ago.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it's just interesting listening to people's perspectives on all the different issues, and some of them strike a chord, like the push, like that song. So cringe. That song where they say they're coming for your kids. It's like they're trying to pass it off as a joke, but I don't know, mate. Look, we have this thing going on at the moment in our schools. It's called the Safe Schools program. Now, essentially, what it was wrapped up as was an anti-bullying program, a program of tolerance and acceptance. But the two authors, one is a self-avowed communist and LGBT activist, and the other is a person who wrote their thesis on how society should accept pedophiles.
Wow, crazy!
And state governments throughout my country have implemented this. One state banned it, but my state, Victoria, the People's Republic of Victoria, under Chairman Dan Andrews, they've gone at it full tilt. It just amazes me how they, knowing who authored this so-called program, they still stood by it anyway.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they're trying to be virtuous. They're trying to be, I guess, not. They're trying to be not bigoted, but at a certain point, it's like, okay, there are certain laws in the books that already exist, and these laws should affect some of this stuff that is clearly illegal. We're talking about supporting pedophiles. I mean, that's still an illegal thing. You can't do that, and you can't just be ignored because of this desire to be woke.
Yeah, exactly. Look, it's not bigoted if you're calling out criminality. It's not bigoted if you're denying criminals the right to be accepted for their crimes in our society.
Exactly.
That's
Correct.
just common sense.
Yes.
Which just seems to be not that common anymore.
You're very right. 100%.
Yeah, it also amazes me how they've managed to get our society so dumbed down that people can engage in, look, an Orwellian term, doublethink, where they just have this complete cognitive dissonance to be able to deny everything that's going on around them. Like we're fighting against the implementation of vaccine passports in Australia as well. Like, it's just crazy. And like that lady said, papers, please. I'm just absolutely thoroughly disgusted. We're supposed to be a society that stands on the value of individual liberties and freedoms and the right to choose your own path and destiny. It's like going into this collectivist groupthink where, if you don't do X, then you have to be Y. It's like, Jesus, come on.
Right.
Yeah, but I hope they manage to beat it and shoot it down. And like, I'm surprised at the weakness of our federal government, whereby states closing down their borders and denying travel between states. That's against our constitution. Look, we actually have one. Weirdly enough, not many people know it. It's not as prominent in our ethos and psyche as the American Constitution is in yours. And yeah, I wish we had some of your amendments. I tell you, first and second, straight up.
Yeah,
straight off the bat. But yeah, hopefully they get that ratified. I mean, the one good thing we did was our state government had an agreement with China for the Belt and Road Initiative, which is their coercive bullying tactic through economic coercion and economic imperialism, because they know they can't do anything direct in terms of military conflict or takeover, so they're doing it economically. And our federal government put in place a law where they reserve the right to tear up any agreement with a foreign entity that's below the federal level.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going about the process of trying to reacquire certain government assets that were leased out to China, like the Port of Darwin, the Port of Newcastle, the Port of Melbourne. I mean, how can we not be aware that important strategic infrastructure should have never been allowed at the state level to be sold off or leased off to especially a adversarial foreign entity?
Yeah, that should be kind of common sense, but like you said, it's not too much common anymore. But thank you for the call, man. I definitely appreciate you.
No worries, mate. No worries. I love your show. Just one thing before I go. I watched your podcast with is it Pierre or
but quickly, please. Yeah, with Tatum and Pierre and all that.
Yeah, it's just that I laughed so hard when he was trying to pimp out Greg. That was funny. All right, mate.
All right, now.
Take care of yourself. God bless.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All right, let's get to some more here. Let's go to 828. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Hello, who am I speaking to?
Hi. I wanted to ask you a question, Anthony.
All right.
I have a friend that has a 15-year-old daughter that goes to a local school in my area. I live in North Carolina, and the school is very exclusive. It's a very expensive private school. And when her granddaughter came home the other day, she said, well, how did it go at school today? And her granddaughter said, well, we learned, I hate to say this on the phone, they showed us how to put a condom on a cucumber.
Whoa. Okay, let's So how old is the granddaughter?
15.
Oh, yikes. But go ahead.
And this school is in Asheville, North Carolina, and it's, like I said, very expensive to go to this school. And my friend asked her granddaughter, well, what did you think about that? Her granddaughter said, I thought it was gross. What is going on in our school systems, Anthony?
Some crazy things. A lot of these things that these teachers unions, they allow to happen. A lot of these schools, they allow to happen. And it just shouldn't be. And I guess the excuse would be, oh, it's health ed. They got to figure out how to do it. But this is something that you don't learn. You don't learn how to do that. And health ed, when I was in school, you learned about the anatomy, your physical body, not how to put a condom on a cucumber. That's something that is just pretty gross to be doing in school with teachers and whatnot. It's totally inappropriate. That right there, I mean, that could be considered, like if it was just a setting where you had an adult doing that in front of a child, that could be considered sexual assault. If it was unwanted, you can go to jail for that. So that's definitely out of bounds.
Well, I guess everybody's going to have to keep their eyes open and make some noise, because this whole country seems to be getting out of control. And I live in like I said, Western North Carolina, and we're becoming very liberal. I think there's more conservatives than we think, but all in all, it's very clear that there are becoming two groups: the ones on the liberal side, and then the conservatives who are considered the weirdos, and the unvaccinated and the vaccinated. I mean, they're dividing us, and they're throwing out things to the kids that should not be. So we need to trust in God, and please do something. Tell people about this. Talk about it and make some noise. I'm a grandmother. I don't have any children in school now, but I have two grandchildren, 11 and 12 years old, which I'm sure they're hearing some things that are not good in school. And I believe it's been taught in the past, in history. I believe it was Lenin who said, give me 4 weeks to teach your child and I will have them. I think he said 4 weeks. It might have been 4 months to teach your child and I will have them. So that's something to think about, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Listen, I appreciate your show. I enjoy it. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Yikes. Yeah, that's cool. I wouldn't be paying them anymore. Homeschool is there's a homeschool renaissance happening right now. When I went to the event out here, when I did my speaking engagement in Athens, Tennessee, in front of the McMinn County Republican Party, I spoke to some of the people that were there afterward, and a young man came up to me, 16 years old, and he was talking about how some of his friends are going through some weird stuff at school. Not anything like that. He didn't say anything to that level. He was just, some ideological stuff. And I forget what he asked me a question, and then I asked him, I was like, okay, are you going to the same school with them? Are you going to private? Like, what's going on? He's like, okay, I'm going to homeschool. I'm like, there you go. See, you're right on the mark. That's making the renaissance. But, not everybody can do it. People got to work, 2 parents working. Sometimes you got single parents, they got to work. And then sometimes parents may not necessarily be good at teaching their kids full time. And you paying taxes, regardless whether if you homeschool or not, that can't be the solution. You paying taxes, compulsory taxes. So that needs to be it like for public school, that is. And in private school, even worse. You paying direct money to the private school. Oh no. If that was me and I'm paying that kind of money to a private school, I'm gonna be in there, be having the meeting. I'm gonna sit down with the dean at a dinner table, like, yo, all right, man, check it out. This is what we're gonna do. We're paying the money here. This is what we're gonna do. That's just what it is. It'd be a collection of us, all parents, You don't like it? You don't like what we're trying to demand? All right, well, we're just going to go ahead and do something else. So what's up? That'd be my mind state for sure. I'm paying money. Oh no. And if I'm paying my tax money, I'm definitely going to, we're going to, every day, we're going to be having meetings at the city council, all that stuff. I'll go on the city council. I'll get elected just to make a change, because that can't be. You want to do something like that, ask the parents. And I think a lot of the parents are not really going to be consenting of that, in my humble opinion, at least. Let me get some more calls. Let's go to, all right. Wow, hold on. Y'all blowing the phone up. Let's go 8607. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how you doing, ABL?
I'm well. About yourself?
Oh, pretty good. I guess it wouldn't do me no good in this current climate to make the dad's rebuttal song to the pedophile song, you know, smashing skulls and ripping hearts out. Just saying, you know, leave my 9-year-old boy alone.
Right, exactly.
I mean, let kids be kids. That's one of the biggest problems that they're facing up in South Side of Chicago. None of those kids had fathers. You know, JBL is always talking about, you know, got to have a strong role model, because women will raise them to be emotional men, and men are not supposed to be emotional.
That's right.
We're supposed to be the thinkers. Okay, we'll deal with this later. This is not a good time. Nope. They ratcheted it up, even if at the airlines counter, you know, making reference of Tommy Sotomayor. You know, he's showing women going off, you know, in front of their kids. No husband or father around to calm the situation down. But, yeah. Not down with San Francisco men's choir. They were fine until they sang this song. Then they're no longer fine, because now they're intruding upon the rights of children. And most adults can't handle a sexual relationship, which is why most of them guys are messed up in the head, because somebody did it to them when they were young, and they ain't got no right messing with anybody else, especially a child. You know?
Exactly. 100% correct.
You're an American. You have rights. I got rights too. Your rights of your sexuality. Don't trample on my rights to my sexuality. Whatever you do is your business. It ain't got nothing to do with fixing the truck or flying the airplane or performing heart surgery. Neither does your skin color.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, I'm so racist that if I need brain surgery, I prefer the man to be Dr. Ben Carlson.
There you go. Right on.
Yeah, right. Oh, no, I want Bubba Ray from the gas station down there. Anyway, ABL, it's a crazy world. It's just getting more evil. It's just getting more evil.
Yeah, it's a lot going on for sure.
Yeah, the best way to fight it is these unions have contracts. We don't need to renew the contracts of these unions. We have no confidence in their ability to teach what children need, and that is history, social studies, mathematics, reading, English. Done. That's all they need. They don't need all this wokety woke morals and values. That's the parents' job to instill those. That's all I got, ABL. Love your show.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Hey, you take care, buddy.
Same to you. Yeah, we're basic stuff. Let's get some reading, writing, arithmetic. Real simple, real easy, and just have that be that. What else do we really need? For the more advanced kids, give them advanced classes. All right, let's get to the next one. 310, you on line, I'm speaking to. Well, I answered, but they hung up. Let's get to the next one. Let's try one more time. 310, hello, who am I speaking to?
I'm from Georgia. How you doing, sir?
I'm well. About yourself?
Real good. Man, you got a lot going on today. And I was just looking at some of the things going on, and that thing with the cringy um, situation in San Francisco. Those people are NAMBLA probably people. You know, that North American Man-Boy Love group. That's what it's all about. And this group is associated in California trying to get pedophiles and stuff out of jail and get back to to their man love, their boy love, and that's what they're into. And even to the point that in California, some of the lawmakers are trying to get laws changed to allow this type of stuff, this type of activity going on. So they weren't kidding in that song. That was just a prelude. And if we're not watching, that's what's going to be happening. That's what they're just giving a prelude of what they want to do. It's a sad state. Another thing, in regards to what's going on in regards to our taxes and everything what's going on with the high price of oil going on today. You know, we're buying oil from Russia now. Now that he got a free pipeline and we're paying the price. We're paying more money for our oil and giving it to Russia instead of making our own where we were getting lower prices. It's a sad state. Our economy is going to be ruined by the time this man and this woman get in. And I tell you, they don't want to legalize, have it to the point that we show our voters' IDs. Somebody, you can't get it? No, we can get it. We have been getting it. They don't want it so they can continue to do the flim-flam on America. And I just keep telling my friends and telling my family, we can't go for this flim-flam. We just can't. Like I said, I'll just continue to pray for our country, every day. Pray for this world because it's sick and demented. And it's a sad state that we're into right now, ABL. But like I keep saying that, people like yourself and the rest of the people who are trying to stand up for righteousness, we'll get this here job done. We just got to hang on because in due season we'll get past this. That we only got another year and a half to endure this mania, and it's a sad state that people can't really see it. To see this mania that's going on, they're trying to brainwash folks, trying to change to make you think a certain way, and we just can't buy into it. We just can't buy into this mindset they're trying to do. It's a slow brainwashing, and them knocking on my door, talking about backs here. No, don't knock on my door, please don't. Because no backs here. I was talking with my son. He's a younger man, and I was just saying that. What are you going to do? Because, you can make it your own mind. He's an adult. So what are you going to do? I'm not doing it. And I said, okay, we're healthy, and everybody in here is healthy. And like I said, I think that I had that stuff in November of 2019. We thought it was a cold. We treated it as a cold, and we got through it. We were sick for 2 weeks, but, we came through it. But we'll just do it the natural way. It's like the beginning of time, and the way they pushing this back is scary to me because they pushing too hard. They're pushing too hard. There's something to this, and like I said, that's just the way I feel. But ABL, I just wanted to say thank you, sir. God bless. God bless our country. People stand up. Continue to think for yourself. Don't be swayed by the media. Think for yourself. Common sense, you have it. We all have it. We just got to use it. God bless, sir. You just have a blessed night, okay?
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right, then, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Shout out to Unifier TV. Unifier TV talking about you wanted to go to CPAC, but you couldn't. You're a little bit down about that. I'm going to tell you about CPAC. Ain't nothing really happening there. If you can watch CPAC on television, that's pretty much what it is. I'm going to tell you, I've not been to CPAC ever, and I don't plan on really going because it's like, what's the point? I've been to some of these conferences. I've been to a conference called AmpFest. I went to Politicon Ampfest was in Miami at Trump Doral, real nice place. Politicon was in Nashville, like downtown, of course. Where else? I've been to Brexit events, of course. I've been to marches in DC. I've been to local political events out here in Tennessee. My speaking engagement, of course, I've been there. The best ones I've been to were the Brexit events. The Brexit events where they go and speak at the arenas, not arenas, but like kind of like little theater type places. Really good. The Turning Point and or Brexit events at the White House in DC, those are really good because you get to talk to people, interact with them, and meet a lot of people. Once you go to CPAC or stuff like that, you're not really doing that. The booths and stuff you go to, it's kind of boring, quite frankly. I'm gonna keep it all the way real. It's kind of boring. When you go to these events, you're kind of bored. You're just kind of walking around. I'm trying to find some friends and stuff to talk to, and you just don't. It's super boring, really. I'd be in my hotel room just ready, just playing on my cell phone, making videos and stuff like that. It's like I could have stayed home for this. So if you couldn't go to CPAC, you're not missing anything. If you can watch it on television, then that's all you need to know. You got a better seat at home, quite frankly, watching some of the speeches. You can't really talk to the celebrities or anything like that. You might see people that you might know, but if you don't know anybody, it's kind of hard to meet people there. A lot of Hollywood stuff going on. It's not necessary to go. I have no plans on going. I could easily go. I could have been anytime. I could have been to CPAC at any time. Especially when they had it in DC. It's nothing. I got offered to go a couple times, but the thing is, it wasn't like they're going to pay me to speak. If they pay me to speak, then yeah, I'll go. But a lot of people ain't going, and it's for a reason. And quite frankly, it's also like the establishment. It's not all that. You're not missing anything. All right. Now pick up the phone when I want to, Rapper 10,000. How about that? If you don't get on, you don't get on. So don't tell me to pick up the phone. I saw you do that a couple of times. You do it one more time, see what happened. All right. Let me get to the next call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me get to the calls here. 512, you know the line. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Cynthia. I'm calling in from Alaska, and I got into an interesting topic of conversation with somebody, and I always like debating and taking the less popular side. And so there was a lady that I talked to who was a lesbian and who was married, and she was talking about how in school this whole choosing your gender thing should not be taught or allowed because school is based on teaching facts, and facts like in science and everything, and there are certain facts that somebody's gender, you are born with your gender. Gender isn't an identity. It's something that you're born with. And that was a very interesting, I guess, take on it, especially, from somebody who is very prominent in the LGBT local community here, saying that this just shouldn't be tolerated or taught in school, and let me rephrase that, not tolerated, because I understand, tolerating things, but it should not be something that is implemented into our curriculum for our young, for anybody.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's correct. That's 100% correct.
I just wanted to pitch that to you because it was just an eye-opening statement that was made, from somebody that knows and has experienced that part of things. So anyways, have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
No problem. Bye.
Now, to make sure I got it right, I believe she was talking about how the gender and, sex thing is different. It's not. People talk about, oh, well, your gender, you can just create that out the, that's not how it goes. Male or female, XXXY. It's so simple. It's weird how what I was taught in biology class is now all of a sudden invalid. like the chromosomes and all that don't even really exist. It's like you could create your own gender. Why do you got to call it gender? If you want to create your own name, call yourself, Dust Flower Bear. Call yourself that. You can identify as that. Change your name. I identify as Dust Flower Bear, and my pronouns are beep bop boop, and have that be that. All right, cool, great, Dust Flower Bear. What do I call you for short? Flower Bear, FB, Fubu. Like, what do we do? I call you Beep, and have that be that. But when you're talking about what you actually are, your biology, that ain't gonna change. That's not gonna be different. But I'll move right along. Let's get to the next call. 919, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Aaron Daniels, Raleigh, North Carolina.
All righty. What's happening?
So I've been watching you for, I don't know, maybe halfway through the pandemic, started looking for places to get some information. But let me put this on hold.
All right.
So some guy called maybe 20 minutes ago, and he was talking about something about like how Trump was going to come back into place or whatever. I know what that guy's talking about. It's the QAnon stuff. Now, I had no clue about it till like a week ago, and I met this girl, and she started talking about it. And I was like, all right, well, tell me what you're talking. What does it really mean? And she was like, so Q is like some guy who looks at like web pages, military web pages, and then somehow connects some dots and says, Trump said this, and like this is going to happen. And then there's a nod, but there's like another person, evidently, who like justifies it. And that's what all these people are like tying into. And she kept talking about it. It sounded crazy. And I think that's what the guy's talking about. And kind of bothersome because it seems like that was used to like get all the weirdos who might have been on the fringe.
Of course.
Didn't really get things.
Of course. 100%.
And then they just, yeah. And I heard something else like a day ago where like most of the things that happened on the day where like, they're claiming all this bad stuff happened at the Capitol was like either like CIA or FBI or individuals who go in there. They even have them on camera, like changing like their shirts and stuff. So like they entice people who have no control of themselves and aren't, probably not that intelligent in the first place. And they get them to do stupid things. And then they broadcast on television and say that's everybody.
Right.
And
yeah.
they're all crazy. And even Trump, most people know what the hell these people are talking about. But somehow, like, even my brother, to be completely honest, he lives in D.C. and he's connected with all these people. And, like, he would throw out things like the Proud Boys and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I know who they are, but, like, they don't mean anything. They're just mouthpieces, And they use that to, like, blanket term everybody. And it's like, it's so ridiculous, but it's so obvious. But I don't know. I think that's what the guy was talking about. And you can kind of tell when he was talking to you that he didn't really know what he was talking about. But, like, he buys into this idea that, that's why this girl that I was about to date, she said, well, just so you know, in a few months, Trump's coming back to office. It's like, what?
Oh.
She's like, oh, yeah, like he's going to come back. They figured something out, and it'll happen. And I'm like, that's, to be honest with you, that's why like, I don't want to go on a date. You sound kind of crazy, but, that's okay. But
well, I tell you what, I got more calls on the line, but I'm gonna say this: if you think that there's kind of a red flag, like something ain't seeming right already, then just trust your instinct. That's you're probably right.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And you got things on the line, but that QAnon thing, I think that's what they're doing. They're just manipulating people's like unintelligence, and it's really sad. But do what you got to do, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's get to a few more here. We got a little bit more time. Wow, it's almost time to wrap up. I'm gonna try to get one more call, and then we can just do that. Let's go 678. You know, line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going? This is Craig Sager calling in.
All right, what's going on?
So I just had a question. I really, it's amazing I got through. So what I see did you see that juvenile video of the vax that, what up?
Yeah, vax that thing up. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask you, do you think, how was this being received in the Black community when you see celebrities doing things like that? Is this sort of like a awakening process where it's like, oh, look at all these celebrities speaking out, or is there a resentment? How do you feel like that's being viewed, and what's the effect of that?
People see it as corny. People see like he's broke, hard up for money, because it's stupid. It's like, okay, it's one thing if somebody was to come out and just say, go get the shot, something a little bit more serious when talking about a serious matter. But then when you remix your song from back in the day and you got girls in the video twerking, it's like, this is stupid. This is corny. That's generally how I see it looked at as.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree. I just think with like these former rappers, or whether it's the celebrities, I feel like just the talk I hear is from the Black community. Where have these celebrities been or whatever? And then to see them kind of doing these big production vaccine videos, it's got to feel kind of like a cold reality, a wake up call to be like, wait a minute, this is the type of people we were looking up to, and now they're just making these, as you said, corny vaccine videos.
Well, to be honest, I don't think Juvenile was like a role model. Yeah. I don't think he was like, I won't be like Juvenile when I grow up. I don't think it was like that. I just think that, they like the song or some of the music or whatever, and they might dance to it. But then when they see something like this, it's like, okay, really, you doing this? You've been reduced. How the mighty have fallen. That's pretty much how it seemed from my point of view. Yeah. Like from what I'm observing, from knowing people and stuff like that, that's kind of what's going on.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I just wanted to get your gauge on it.
All right. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it. All righty. Shout out to the caller. I'll try to get one more if I can, if I got a little bit of time, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it on up. All right. What's going on, Magnificent?
What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Cool. Yeah, I just got done with a live stream, and I got 3 topics that I wanted to get your take on. I heard you talk about CPAC, and it's interesting you have that take on CPAC because I kind of have that same take. I didn't really want to bash it too much because, Right Side, we're covering it this weekend. But I got that vibe when I went for the first time in February. Other than Trump's speech and just kind of seeing some people that I had not seen in person before, it just feels like there's not a whole lot going on there.
Yeah, it's boring. Like a lot of these conferences, like a lot of these events are like that. The best ones I've been to are like the Blexit and some of that stuff, because the thing about those, I can talk to people that I know. It's like, oh, I know you, and we can talk, we can have dinner, we can get together, we can actually network. And the main thing about those events are the people. When you go to a CPAC or something like that, you got a bunch of older guys in there with suits, and they're not really trying to talk to you, and you pretty much just bored. It's like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, and the big thing is what's actually being accomplished. I didn't even know there was going to be 2 CPACs this year, so that was kind of weird to me. But I'm just thinking, like, what's actually getting done? What are we talking about other than like cancel culture? Look at the left trying to indoctrinate kids. It's like, what's the game plan? What's the plan of action?
I don't really know, and I didn't see the point by having 2 CPACs. I'm thinking they're doing fundraising. I think that's the whole purpose. So maybe that's why it's kind of like passing the plate around twice in the same church service. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because beyond that, I don't see the purpose of having 2 in 1 year like that.
Yeah. And also, so RSBN is we're getting a little bit of flack for interviewing Caitlyn Jenner. And I just personally, I'm not on board with it. I mean, that's a man. I mean, that's biology. That's a man. But I don't think that Caitlyn Jenner should be dragged or hated on. It just kind of is what it is. But I get the whole, like, well, what are we conserving if we're endorsing Caitlyn Jenner for governor? What's your take on this whole thing? Because it seems to be like a wedge issue that's kind of dividing people on the right.
Well, the thing about Caitlyn Jenner, it's a weird issue. My thing is, Caitlyn Jenner should just be, it should signify how far California has fallen to even have to be thinking about somebody like that. Because if California was not in such a deep, deep, dark state where you got people on the street just shooting heroin in front of little kids, you know, just doodling on the ground, smoking crack outside, and there's no problem. If it wasn't like that, then we would have a more sensible candidate on there. But now it's to the point of desperation. It's desperate to try and say that Caitlyn Jenner could be the next governor. And quite frankly, it probably won't even happen. It'll probably be a liberal person because of how bad California is. So, but I understand people that say, oh, we shouldn't be doing that. But at the same time, at a certain point, California was a red state. We shouldn't have let it we shouldn't have let it go down this far to where it is now. There's a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And I think the biggest shoulda, coulda, woulda is the state of California. That's the bigger issue rather than just Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner is a symptom of the problem. She's not the problem itself. She's a symptom of the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with you. It's just kind of wild to see people on one side saying, yeah, we're going to own the libs. How are they going to deal with this? And, you know, and then the other side's like, wait a minute, what are we doing here? This isn't conservative at all. So I get it. But yeah. What do you think about this Haitian president getting assassinated?
I don't even know. Like, there's a lot of details coming out now. They said that there was 2 Americans involved. Like, they said they were Haitian Americans. So, and then they're talking about they were just translators for the Colombians actually did it. I don't even know if it was them that actually did it. Like, how do I know that it's people that they showed on TV that actually did the killing? I don't know what the motive could be. I think because there's some things happening in Haiti where there was some civil unrest, but I'm not really sure why Colombians would get brought in to do it. If it was some civil unrest, why not just have Haitians do it that are already there? Not having the U.S. go, what are they going there for? I don't really know. So it's a whole lot of unanswered questions, but I'm going to keep my eye on the story because I feel like there's a lot to the story that I don't know that will be revealed pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm watching it. Especially now that I heard that we're sending FBI and DHS people there. That just rubs me the wrong way. First of all, like, that's not even our business. Perfect, honestly.
Right.
Hey, if anything, France should be doing something because that was their territory, you know. But the fact that we're sending people there, and from what I've heard, that this president was against the vaccine, and same with the president of Tanzania, and now all of a sudden they're sending 500,000 vaccines to Haiti. I'm like, wait a minute, we're talking about the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. I highly doubt that because they got low cases of COVID anyway, that their top priority is, hey, give us the jab.
Right, exactly. It's not. So that's a really good point you made there about them sending a bunch of, I didn't know that. See, I'm learning more and more as time goes on. And once I learn a lot, I'll be able to really get the picture together. But that's interesting about the shots going there. Like you said, why do they need it? They're not being overrun with the virus, and it's been around for a long time. So if they're not being hit with it now, then why would it happen in the future?
Exactly. And then people aren't even really traveling to and from Haiti. So where are they even getting a spiked, you know, where did they even get spiked numbers anyway?
Exactly.
The whole thing just, it doesn't pass the smell test, especially with their history with dealing with the U.S. government and the Clinton Foundation. And there's a whole lot there. But that's something that's interesting that came out today. The other thing that I found out about was the World Economic Forum. I don't know if you heard about the cyber polygon, where they're basically doing a dry run of a cyber pandemic. And it's the same people that brought us Event 201, which was the pandemic exercise. Like, what if we got hit with an infectious disease?
Oh, boy.
And then COVID came not even 5 months later. It seems like they're doing the same thing all over again. And, you know, we've seen power outages and rolling blackouts and cyber attacks. It just seems like they're foreshadowing what they're going to do in the future. What do you think about it?
I think you're right about that because, I mean, like you said, they did the pandemic exercise, and then here we are dealing with the scandemic, and then this would be the next thing. And then we've already seen some of these little cyber attacks, some of the ransomware, paid in Bitcoin, all this and that. We've seen that a lot lately. And the thing about those that they're not necessarily uncommon. They've happened before as far as the ransomware, but now all of a sudden it's being publicized and it's affecting us. While all of a sudden right now, then they're going to do exercise. Could it be another one coming up that we don't know about that'll be much bigger in its impact? So that's we might see something.
Yeah, that's definitely something to keep our eyes on. But I'm gonna let you get to some other callers. I don't know if you heard the little one crying in the background, but I got to get out there and see what's going on. But man, appreciate you letting me call in. Love everything you do. Keep it up.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Shout out to my man, Mike Nificent. He has a YouTube channel, Mike Nificent. You may recognize him from Right Side Broadcasting. He does do interviews over there, works with them. But he has his own channel as well, Mike Nificent, right here on the YouTubes. A lot of you guys already seen him before. A lot of you guys already subscribed to him. But go ahead and subscribe to him right now if you've not done so thus far. All right. So I think that'd be a wrap. I'm beyond my time. And you guys know I like to be punctual, at least when I end. But when I start, sometimes white men get in the way. But anyway, thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed what you heard so far, if you enjoyed what you heard tonight in general, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. This show you're listening to right now will be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether they be Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. And a link for that will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search for ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And then with super chats, I'll get to those right quick. And then we'll be out of here, wrap it on up, put the bow on the top. Shout out to the mods for doing the great job, keeping them trolls in check, keeping everything nice and good to go. I appreciate you. And we'll get straight to it. All right. Thank you to, let me see where I'm going. Thank you to Ed Rodriguez, who says China's to send the corona. Oh, I already read that one. He said China to send the corona over to kill the U.S. economy. Just saying. Let me see. William Pollard says good work ethic is like any skill. You practice it and it improves. There you go. Exactly. Practice makes perfect. Thank you to FNA Ranger Xbox, who says t-shirt idea. I need a vaccine for Maxine. I like that. Let me screenshot that right quick. I like that. Good one. Thank you to Tyrannius, who says, I'm shocked a black guy can build a PC. Hey, hey, I've been doing it all my life since not all my life, since I'm like 2006, I've been building PCs. You know, that's what I do. But according to Biden and them, I can't even use the internet, right? That's pretty much how that goes. Thank you to Georgia Peach, who says, thank you, ABL, for working so hard to inform us and inspire us. You're one amazing person. Thank you. Thank you to Leo Mazzino, who says, you think that the women's movement will step up on this men and women's sports? Good question. I don't think so. I don't think so because it's like intersectionality. So they don't want to interfere with that. The women's movement is now kind of tied to the LGBT, and they feel like they don't want to be seen as TERFs. Is that what that means? I forget what that stands for, but basically people that think that women are women. But we'll move on. Thank you to Eunice, who says, exactly, you did say that. I saw that show. I came in late. The expression on your face told it all. I love the show on Thursday. We offer to Tatum a lot of good info and perspectives. Watch Candace on Facebook. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Yeah, PC building. That's what I do. I didn't build a lot of PCs. I built my wife's PC. I built a friend of mine. I built his PC. I used to fix computers or upgrade them. You want a CD drive in your computer? I throw it in there for you. No problem. It's easy to me. It's fun. I got everything in here. I got, I got 32 gigs of RAM. I got a 3060, 12 gig graphics card. I got my CamLink Pro with 4 HDMI inputs. It's super quiet. You can't even hear it at all over there. Got the Be Quiet, bit cooler on it. Got a little bit of RGB in there. It's great. 800-watt power supply. And I got another one in there. I got 2 cases in there. I got another one that I bought just to get the graphics card and took it out. that has some Intel processor in there. I don't even know what it is. Got like 16 gigs of RAM, motherboard, a couple and I got some what I got? Some M2 NVMe SSDs, and then I got a regular SATA SSD in there. I got that in this one, and then other the two in there too. I got a mini ITX and also like a regular size case. That's what I do. So all of this computer stuff to me is easy. It's just nothing. You know, it's just called having skill. And if you have certain skills, you can do certain things. You can have a decent life. A lot of these kids don't have skills, unfortunately. Let me see. Shreep says you still promised a mod an ABL co-op session in Discord. All right, we'll do it. I'm a nerd, not a geek. I'm a nerd. Geeks are different. You know, you see the way I am, that makes me a nerd. Cup holders, I don't have cup holders, but I saw that. What I do have is a standing desk, and under it I have, it's hard to explain, but I have like a shelving unit under the desk so I can put stuff in it. Microfiber, my keys, some knives, pens, pencils, all of that. I got a little bit of everything in here. And I got laptops too. I got Microsoft Surface Pro. Then I got a bigger one with a graphics card in it. And I got my phones. All business expenses. Yeah, geeks and nerds aren't necessarily bad people. Nah. You got a good person, good heart that likes to get into some nerdy stuff. Hey, they can change the world. Yeah, I have an AMD processor. I have an AMD 3950 for the processor, but I have Intel too. My first PC I built was the AMD Athlon 3000 Plus in 2006, way back. But let's get back to the super chats. I could talk all day about the geek stuff. I might even do a separate channel about that, but that's a different story. I think it's Wolfgang who says, why push vax may be safe, but to make lines go up, whether economic profit or political profit, sacrifices to great bull god makes big line go up. I think it's Elaborate Bulls who says, hashtag ballot lives matter. Ballot lives matter. I think it's Wolfgang who says, I accept the P's in prison for their crimes until they are put up against the wall. I hope you and society accepts this too. Let me go back to where I was. Let me see. Thank you to Trey who says, do I think Confederate statues should be removed? No, because what happens is they start there and then continue. Right when they started taking the Confederate statues down a few years back, I said it right here on this channel. I said it right here. Once they do that, then it's going to be George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and we see that they did that. They did that at George Washington University. Took the man's bust off of his own school. At UVA, they did that with Thomas Jefferson. Again, his own school. I saw it coming. It's not hard to predict these things. Once you understand, because I was over there at one point, you understand? I was over on the left, so I understand how they think. And at a certain point, it's just kind of logic. It's kind of common sense. They talk about how bad America is. They hate the American flag. They don't want to stand for the flag. They want to kneel and spit on the flag and burn the flag. So it makes sense for them to say, oh, well, let's take the Confederate statues down. Let's do that. And you say, okay, cool, because the Confederates, they were bad. They put the statues up in the 1900s to intimidate black people. Okay, cool, let's do it. But you got to understand what's coming next are the American patriot, the George Washington at Mount Rushmore. You got to understand what's coming next, right? Because they already told you that America's racist and the flag is racist. The stars and stripes, 50 states on the starfield. They said it's racist. They want to burn the flag. They hate the flag. They hate America. So when you give them an inch, take a mile. It's very simple to understand. Let me see. Shout out to Eunice again, who says they themselves are not taking the vaccine. Remember, ABL, they fake anti-syringe on the news. The people forget that what they saw. Exactly. I remember that I did that video where the lady was supposed to be getting a shot, the jab or whatever they want to call it, and the syringe was empty. So it was like, what's really going on? What are we doing? Thank you to Tyrone, Mr. Conservative, who says, I have a hypothesis for you about the gay choir group who are registered sex offenders. Maybe the parole officer got a hold of the video. Now they want to say it's a joke. Can you say violation? Uh-oh. That's that thinking right there. Thank you for that. Very good one. Yeah, because you do something like that, that can definitely send you back to the penitentiary, straight up the river. Thank you to Atomic Tabasco, who says, how can I find Trump rally schedules in advance? I can't find anywhere online. I don't know. That's a good question because he had his website. Is that still gone? I think that was on a Shopify website and they took that down. That was crazy. Nah, okay, it's still up. DonaldJTrump.com. You can go there. And you could probably sign up to get alerts. So I would do that. You could just, put your email in there. You probably get alerts that way. That's probably the best way to go about it. Go to his website and sign up right there. A nerd and a geek. I don't know. I mean, from my point of view, a geek, you got to be, that's like Steve Urkel, right? With the suspenders, the stereotypical geek. And a nerd is just the same as a geek, but you kind of like, you have the normie look to you. The geek, that's like, you're all the way in, you're all the way dedicated to the culture of nerddom and how your appearance and everything else. You got a permanent Cheeto stand on your t-shirt. That's a geek, right? But a nerd is like a normie, but has the mentality of a geek, if that makes any sense. If you ever go to some of these video game conferences and you smell that stench in there, that's that geek stench. That's not necessarily the nerd stench, but some may call it the nerd stench. It's all kind of interchangeable, but I think you got some that are really just over the top and some that aren't. But they all have similar common interests. Thank you to Violet for becoming an ABL supporter yet again. Thank you to Laura Catherine for the keep it up emoji. Thank you to Joanne Hafner for becoming an ABL superstar. Thank you. Thank you to Bryden Phillips, who says, great show as always. And that's all I got to say about that. Thank you to Don Day 2K, who says, Jenner is not the choice to replace Newsom. He will fold like a cheap pantsuit and faster than Arnold did at the first sign of opposition. Richard Grinnell is my choice to fight the Democrats. I agree with that. I agree with that 1,000%. Because Caitlyn Jenner, whatever, then already said that you could be, because first he said that if you are trans, you shouldn't be competing against women in sports because it's unfair. It's coming from an Olympian himself, right? He was the guy in the Wheaties box, all this, that, and the third, right? But then later he said, well, look, if you transition at an early age, then you can compete. It's like, excuse me? So you don't want them to compete if they transition recently, but if they were doing it when they were a child transitioning, then they can compete. So you think you can transition you think that you could be 5 years old and transition? Is that what we're talking about? So you got two violations there. The first one is these little kids being able to transition. I'm not with that at all. The second thing is you could compete if you are biological male against women. So he already done folded. Yeah, I like Rick Grinnell too, because Rick Grinnell, he don't hold his sexuality in your face like it's a trophy. He just does his own thing. So I can rock with that. That gets to Wolfgang Dio, who says, if Bruce Jenner is the only conservative that California has, and so be it, but he better be held to a conservative policy standpoint. Why care? Right. And if not, then you got to go. You're in the way. Bruce Jenner impression, is that what you want? Sprite? Listen here, Sprite. I had a lot of Sprite back in my Olympian days, and I'll have a lot more once I become the governor of California. And to you guys that are concerned about my governance and my skills, don't worry. I'll be great. Isn't that right, Sean Hannity? Want to get an interview right now? Let's do it. That's your man, Bruce Jenner. I mean, Caitlyn Jenner. I don't want to get anything incorrect because Bruce has transitioned, and now she is Caitlyn, and she is stunning and brave. That's what they told me to say just now, but I'll move on. Thank you to Stavros Sarantopoulos for your donation. Thank you to Wolfgang Dio, who says, American Legion has a ceremony for how to retire flags properly. This is the kind of flag burning I support. Disrespectful burning is what enemies do. There you go. Exactly. Thank you to Journey 1804, who says, a nerd is someone who has social disadvantages because of their skill set A geek is someone who uses their skill set as a substitute for social skills. Okay, there you go. A dork is someone with misplaced enthusiasm. Okay, makes a lot of sense. All right, so that'll be a wrap for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I'll be back again on Wednesday with a live show. And all throughout the week, I'm doing pre-recorded videos Monday through Saturday. Catch me on the YouTubes. Catch me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, my website, anthonyblogan.com. Catch me everywhere. I will be there. And, of course, I do my live show with Brandon Tatum every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So that'll be a wrap. Until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.